Overview of Amazon Web Services. AWS White Paper. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power, database, storage, applications, and other IT resources through a cloud services platform via the internet with pay-as-you-go pricing. Whether you are running applications that share photos to millions of mobile users or you're supporting the critical operations of your business, a cloud services platform provides rapid access to flexible and low-cost IT resources. With cloud computing, you don't need to make large upfront investments in hardware and spend a lot of time on the heavy lifting of managing that hardware. Instead, you can provision exactly the right type and size of computing resources you need to power your newest bright idea or operate your IT department. You can access as many resources as you need almost instantly and only pay for what you use. Cloud computing provides a simple way to access servers, storage, databases, and a broad set of application services over the internet. A cloud services platform such as Amazon Web Services owns and maintains the network-connected hardware required for these application services, while you provision and use what you need via a web application. 6 Advantages of cloud computing. Trade capital expense for variable expense. Instead of having to invest heavily in data centers and servers before you know how you're going to use them, you can pay only when you consume computing resources and pay only for how much you consume. Benefit from massive economies of scale. By using cloud computing, you can achieve a lower variable cost than you can get on your own. Because usage from hundreds of thousands of customers is aggregated in the cloud, providers such as AWS can achieve higher economies of scale, which translates into lower pay-as-you-go prices. Stop guessing capacity. Eliminate guessing on your infrastructure capacity needs. When you make a capacity decision prior to deploying an application, you often end up either sitting on expensive idle resources or dealing with limited capacity. With cloud computing, these problems go away. You can access as much or as little capacity as you need and scale up and down as required with only a few minutes' notice. Increased speed and agility. In a cloud computing environment, new IT resources are only a click away, which means that you reduce the time to make those resources available to your developers from weeks to just minutes. This results in a dramatic increase in agility for the organization, since the cost and time it takes to experiment and develop is significantly lower. Stop spending money running and maintaining data centers. Focus on projects that differentiate your business, not the infrastructure. Cloud computing lets you focus on your own customers rather than on the heavy lifting of racking, stacking, and powering servers. Go global in minutes. Easily deploy your application in multiple regions around the world with just a few clicks. This means you can provide lower latency and a better experience for your customers at minimal cost. Types of cloud computing. Cloud computing provides developers and IT departments with the ability to focus on what matters most and avoid undifferentiated work such as procurement, maintenance, and capacity planning. As cloud computing has grown in popularity, several different models and deployment strategies have emerged to help meet specific needs of different users. Each type of cloud service and deployment method provides you with different levels of control, flexibility, and management. Understanding the differences between infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, as well as what deployment strategies you can use, can help you decide what set of services is right for your needs. Cloud Computing Models Section. Infrastructure as a Service (IaaS). Infrastructure as a Service (IaaS) contains the basic building blocks for cloud IT and typically provides access to networking features, computers, virtual or on dedicated hardware, and data storage space. IaaS provides you with the highest level of flexibility and management control over your IT resources and is most similar to existing IT resources that many IT departments and developers are familiar with today. Platform as a Service (PaaS). Platform as a Service (PaaS) removes the need for your organization to manage the underlying infrastructure, usually hardware and operating systems, and allows you to focus on the deployment and management of your applications. This helps you be more efficient as you don't need to worry about resource procurement, capacity planning, software maintenance, patching, or any of the other undifferentiated heavy lifting involved in running your application. Software as a Service (SaaS). Software as a Service (SaaS) provides you with a completed product that is run and managed by the service provider. In most cases, people referring to software as a service are referring to end-user applications. With a SaaS offering, you do not have to think about how the service is maintained or how the underlying infrastructure is managed. You only need to think about how you will use that particular piece of software. A common example of a SaaS application is web-based email, which you can use to send and receive email without having to manage feature additions to the email product or maintain the servers and operating systems that the email program is running on. Cloud Computing Deployment Models section. Cloud. A cloud-based application is fully deployed in the cloud and all parts of the application run in the cloud. Applications in the cloud have either been created in the cloud or have been migrated from an existing infrastructure to take advantage of the benefits of cloud computing. Cloud-based applications can be built on low-level infrastructure pieces or can use higher-level services that provide abstraction from the management, architecting, and scaling requirements of core infrastructure. Hybrid. A hybrid deployment is a way to connect infrastructure and applications between cloud-based resources and existing resources that are not located in the cloud. The most common method of hybrid deployment is between the cloud and existing on-premises infrastructure to extend and grow an organization's infrastructure into the cloud while connecting cloud resources to the internal system. For more information on how AWS can help you with your hybrid deployment, visit our Hybrid Cloud with AWS page. On-premises. The deployment of resources on-premises using virtualization and resource management tools is sometimes called the private cloud. On-premises deployment doesn't provide many of the benefits of cloud computing but is sometimes sought for its ability to provide dedicated resources. In most cases, this deployment model is the same as legacy IT infrastructure while using application management and virtualization technologies to try and increase resource utilization. For more information on how AWS can help, see use case cloud services on-premises. Global infrastructure. AWS serves over 1 million active customers in more than 240 countries and territories. We are steadily expanding global infrastructure to help our customers achieve lower latency and higher throughput and to ensure that their data resides only in the AWS region they specify. As our customers grow their businesses, AWS will continue to provide infrastructure that meets their global requirements. The AWS cloud infrastructure is built around AWS regions and availability zones. An AWS region is a physical location in the world where we have multiple availability zones. Availability zones consist of one or more discrete data centers, each with redundant power, networking, and connectivity, housed in separate facilities. These availability zones offer you the ability to operate production applications and databases that are more highly available, fault-tolerant, and scalable than would be possible from a single data center. The AWS cloud operates in 80 availability zones within 25 geographic regions around the world, with announced plans for more availability zones and regions. For more information on the AWS Cloud Availability Zones and AWS Regions, see AWS Global Infrastructure. Each Amazon region is designed to be completely isolated from the other Amazon regions. This achieves the greatest possible fault tolerance and stability. Each availability zone is isolated, but the availability zones in a region are connected through low-latency links. AWS provides you with the flexibility to place instances and store data within multiple geographic regions as well as across multiple availability zones within each AWS region. Each availability zone is designed as an independent failure zone. This means that availability zones are physically separated within a typical metropolitan region and are located in lower-risk floodplains. Specific flood zone categorization varies by AWS region. In addition to discrete and interruptible power supply (UPS) and on-site backup generation facilities, Data centers located in different availability zones are designed to be supplied by independent substations to reduce the risk of an event on the power grid impacting more than one availability zone. Availability zones are all redundantly connected to multiple Tier 1 transit providers. Security and compliance. Security. Cloud security at AWS is the highest priority. As an AWS customer, you'll benefit from a data center and network architecture built to meet the requirements of the most security-sensitive organizations. Security in the cloud is much like security in your on-premises data centers, only without the costs of maintaining facilities and hardware. In the cloud, you don't have to manage physical servers or storage devices. Instead, you use software-based security tools to monitor and protect the flow of information into and out of your cloud resources. An advantage of the AWS cloud is that it allows you to scale and innovate while maintaining a secure environment and paying only for the services you use. This means that you can have the security you need at a lower cost than in an on-premises environment. As an AWS customer, you inherit all the best practices of AWS policies, architecture, and operational processes built to satisfy the requirements of our most security-sensitive customers. Get the flexibility and agility you need in security controls. The AWS cloud enables a shared responsibility model. While AWS manages security of the cloud, you are responsible for security in the cloud. This means that you retain control of the security you choose to implement to protect your own content platform, applications, systems, and networks no differently than you would in an on-site data center. AWS provides you with the guidance and expertise through online resources, personnel, and partners. AWS provides you with advisories for current issues, plus you have the opportunity to work with AWS when you encounter security issues. You get access to hundreds of tools and features to help you to meet your security objectives. AWS provides security-specific tools and features across network security, configuration management, access control, and data encryption. Finally, AWS environments are continuously audited with certifications from accreditation bodies across geographies and verticals. In the AWS environment, you can take advantage of automated tools for asset inventory and privilege access reporting. Benefits of AWS security. Keep your data safe. The AWS infrastructure puts strong safeguards in place to help protect your privacy. All data is stored in highly secure AWS data centers. Meet compliance requirements. AWS manages dozens of compliance programs in its infrastructure. This means that segments of your compliance have already been completed. Save money, cut costs by using AWS data centers. Maintain the highest standard of security without having to manage your own facility. Scale quickly. Security scales with your AWS cloud usage. No matter the size of your business, the AWS infrastructure is designed to keep your data safe. Compliance. AWS Cloud Compliance enables you to understand the robust controls in place at AWS to maintain security and data protection in the cloud. As systems are built on top of AWS cloud infrastructure, compliance responsibilities will be shared. By tying together governance-focused, audit-friendly service features with applicable compliance or audit standards, AWS compliance enablers build on traditional programs. This helps customers to establish and operate in an AWS security control environment. The IT infrastructure that AWS provides to its customers is designed and managed in alignment with best security practices and a variety of IT security standards. AWS provides customers a wide range of information on its IT control environment in white papers, reports, certifications, accreditations, and other third-party attestations. More information is available in the Risk and Compliance White Paper and the AWS Security Center. Amazon Web Services Cloud. AWS Management Console. Access and manage Amazon Web Services through the AWS Management Console, a simple and intuitive user interface. You can also use the AWS Console mobile application to quickly view resources on the go. AWS Command Line Interface. The AWS Command Line Interface (CLI) is a unified tool to manage your AWS services. With just one tool to download and configure, you can control multiple AWS services from the command line and automate them through scripts. Software Development Kits. Our software development kits (SDKs) simplify using AWS services in your applications with an application program interface (API) tailored to your programming language or platform. Analytics section. Amazon Athena. Amazon Athena is an interactive query service that makes it easy to analyze data in Amazon S3 using standard SQL. Athena is serverless, so there is no infrastructure to manage and you pay only for the queries that you run. Athena is easy to use. Simply point to your data in Amazon S3, define the schema, and start querying using standard SQL. Most results are delivered within seconds. With Athena, there's no need for complex extract, transform, and load ETL jobs to prepare your data for analysis. This makes it easy for anyone with SQL skills to quickly analyze large-scale datasets. Athena is out-of-the-box integrated with AWS Glue Data Catalog, allowing you to create a unified metadata repository across various services. Crawl data sources to discover schemas and populate your catalog with new and modified table and partition definitions and maintain schema versioning. Amazon Cloud Search. Amazon Cloud Search is a managed service in the AWS cloud that makes it simple and cost-effective to set up, manage, and scale a search solution for your website or application. Amazon Cloud Search supports 34 languages and popular search features such as highlighting, autocomplete, and geospatial search. Amazon Elasticsearch Service. Amazon Elasticsearch Service makes it easy to deploy, secure, operate, and scale Elasticsearch to search, analyze, and visualize data in real time. With Amazon Elasticsearch Service, you get easy-to-use APIs and real-time analytics capabilities to power use cases such as log analytics, full-text search, application monitoring, and clickstream analytics. With enterprise-grade availability, scalability, and security. The service offers integrations with open-source tools like Kibana and Logstash for data ingestion and visualization. It also integrates seamlessly with other AWS services such as Amazon Virtual Private Cloud, Amazon VPC, AWS Key Management Service, AWS KMS, Amazon Kinesis Data Firehose, AWS Lambda. AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM), Amazon Cognito, and Amazon CloudWatch so that you can go from raw data to actionable insights quickly. Amazon EMR. Amazon EMR is the industry-leading cloud big data platform for processing vast amounts of data using open-source tools such as Apache Spark, Apache Hive, Apache HBase, Apache Flink, Apache Hudi, and Presto. Amazon EMR makes it easy to set up, operate, and scale your big data environments by automating time-consuming tasks like provisioning capacity and tuning clusters. With EMR you can run petabyte-scale analysis at less than half of the cost of traditional on-premises solutions and over 3x faster than standard Apache Spark. You can run workloads on Amazon EC2 instances, on Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service EKS clusters, or on-premises using EMR on AWS Outposts. Amazon Kinesis. Amazon Kinesis makes it easy to collect, process, and analyze real-time, streaming data so you can get timely insights and react quickly to new information. Amazon Kinesis offers key capabilities to cost-effectively process streaming data at any scale, along with the flexibility to choose the tools that best suit the requirements of your application. With Amazon Kinesis, you can ingest real-time data such as video, audio, application logs, website clickstreams, and IoT telemetry data for machine learning, analytics, and other applications. Amazon Kinesis enables you to process and analyze data as it arrives and respond instantly instead of having to wait until all your data is collected before the processing can begin. Amazon Kinesis currently offers 4 services: Kinesis Data Firehose, Kinesis Data Analytics, Kinesis Data Streams, and Kinesis Video Streams. Amazon Kinesis Data Firehose. Amazon Kinesis Data Firehose is the easiest way to reliably load streaming data into data stores and analytics tools. It can capture, transform, and load streaming data into Amazon S3, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Elasticsearch Service, and Splunk, enabling near real-time analytics with existing business intelligence tools and dashboards you're already using today. It is a fully managed service that automatically scales to match the throughput of your data and requires no ongoing administration. It can also batch, compress, transform, and encrypt the data before loading it, minimizing the amount of storage used at the destination and increasing security. You can easily create a Firehose delivery stream from the AWS Management Console, configure it with a few clicks, and start sending data to this stream from hundreds of thousands of data sources to be loaded continuously to AWS, all in just a few minutes. You can also configure your delivery stream to automatically convert the incoming data to columnar formats like Apache Parquet and Apache Arc before the data is delivered to Amazon S3. For cost-effective storage and analytics, Amazon Kinesis Data Analytics. Amazon Kinesis Data Analytics is the easiest way to analyze streaming data, gain actionable insights, and respond to your business and customer needs in real time. Amazon Kinesis Data Analytics reduces the complexity of building, managing, and integrating streaming applications with other AWS services. SQL users can easily query streaming data or build entire streaming applications using templates in an interactive SQL editor. Java developers can quickly build sophisticated streaming applications using open-source Java libraries and AWS integrations to transform and analyze data in real time. Amazon Kinesis Data Analytics takes care of everything required to run your queries continuously and scales automatically to match the volume and throughput rate of your incoming data. Amazon Kinesis Data Streams. Amazon Kinesis Data Streams is a massively scalable and durable real-time data streaming service. KDS can continuously capture gigabytes of data per second from hundreds of thousands of sources such as website clickstreams, database event streams, financial transactions, social media feeds, IT logs, and location tracking events. The data collected is available in milliseconds to enable real-time analytics use cases such as real-time dashboards, real-time anomaly detection, dynamic pricing, and more. Amazon Kinesis Video Streams. Amazon Kinesis Video Streams makes it easy to securely stream video from connected devices to AWS for analytics, machine learning, ML, playback, and other processing. Kinesis Video Streams automatically provisions and elastically scales all the infrastructure needed to ingest streaming video data from millions of devices. It also durably stores, encrypts, and indexes video data in your streams and allows you to access your data through easy-to-use APIs. Kinesis Video Streams enables you to play back video for live and on-demand viewing, and quickly build applications that take advantage of computer vision and video analytics through integration with Amazon Rekognition Video and libraries for ML frameworks such as Apache MXNet, TensorFlow, and OpenCV. Amazon Redshift. Amazon Redshift is the most widely used cloud data warehouse. It makes it fast, simple, and cost-effective to analyze all your data using standard SQL and your existing business intelligence SPI tools. It allows you to run complex analytic queries against terabytes to petabytes of structured and semi-structured data using sophisticated query optimization, columnar storage on high-performance storage, and massively parallel query execution. Most results come back in seconds. You can start small for just 25 cents per hour with no commitments and scale out to petabytes of data for $1,000 per terabyte per year. Less than a tenth the cost of traditional on-premises solutions. Amazon QuickSight. Amazon QuickSight is a fast cloud-powered business intelligence SPI service that makes it easy for you to deliver insights to everyone in your organization. QuickSight lets you create and publish interactive dashboards that can be accessed from browsers or mobile devices. You can embed dashboards into your applications, providing your customers with powerful self-service analytics. QuickSight easily scales to tens of thousands of users without any software to install, servers to deploy, or infrastructure to manage. AWS Data Exchange. AWS Data Exchange makes it easy to find, subscribe to, and use third-party data in the cloud. Qualified data providers include category-leading brands such as Reuters, who curate data from over 2.2 million unique news stories per year in multiple languages, Change Healthcare, who process and anonymize more than 14 billion healthcare transactions and $1 trillion in claims annually, Dun & Bradstreet, who maintain a database of more than 330 million global business records, and Foursquare, whose location data is derived from 220 million unique consumers and includes more than 60 million global commercial venues. Once subscribed to a data product, you can use the AWS Data Exchange API to load data directly into Amazon S3 and then analyze it with a wide variety of AWS analytics and machine learning services. For example, property insurers can subscribe to data to analyze historical weather patterns to calibrate insurance coverage requirements in different geographies. Restaurants can subscribe to population and location data to identify optimal regions for expansion. Academic researchers can conduct studies on climate change by subscribing to data on carbon dioxide emissions. And healthcare professionals can subscribe to aggregated data from historical clinical trials to accelerate their research activities. For data providers, AWS Data Exchange makes it easy to reach the millions of AWS customers migrating to the cloud by removing the need to build and maintain infrastructure for data storage, delivery, billing, and entitling. AWS Data Pipeline. AWS Data Pipeline is a web service that helps you reliably process and move data between different AWS compute and storage services, as well as on-premises data sources at specified intervals. With AWS Data Pipeline, you can regularly access your data where it's stored, transform and process it at scale, and efficiently transfer the results to AWS services such as Amazon S3, page 74, Amazon RDS, page 28, Amazon DynamoDB, page 26, and Amazon EMR, page 11. AWS Data Pipeline helps you easily create complex data processing workloads that are fault-tolerant, repeatable, and highly available. You don't have to worry about ensuring resource availability, managing inter-task dependencies, retrying transient failures or timeouts in individual tasks, or creating a failure notification system. AWS Data Pipeline also allows you to move and process data that was previously locked up in on-premises data silos. AWS Glue. AWS Glue is a fully managed extract, transform, and load ETL service that makes it easy for customers to prepare and load their data for analytics. You can create and run an ETL job with a few clicks in the AWS Management Console. You simply point AWS Glue to your data stored on AWS, and AWS Glue discovers your data and stores the associated metadata, e.g. table definition and schema, in the AWS Glue data catalog. Once cataloged, your data is immediately searchable, queryable, and available for ETL. AWS Lake Formation. AWS Lake Formation is a service that makes it easy to set up a secure data lake in days. A data lake is a centralized, curated, and secured repository that stores all your data, both in its original form and prepared for analysis. A data lake enables you to break down data silos and combine different types of analytics to gain insights and guide better business decisions. However, setting up and managing data lakes today involves a lot of manual, complicated, and time-consuming tasks. This work includes loading data from diverse sources, monitoring those data flows, setting up partitions, turning on encryption and managing keys, defining transformation jobs and monitoring their operation, reorganizing data into a columnar format, configuring access control settings, deduplicating redundant data, matching linked records, granting access to data sets, and auditing access over time. Creating a data lake with lake formation is as simple as defining where your data resides and what data access and security policies you want to apply. Lake formation then collects and catalogs data from databases and object storage, moves the data into your new Amazon S3 data lake, cleans and classifies data using machine learning algorithms, and secures access to your sensitive data. Your users can then access a centralized catalog of data which describes available data sets and their appropriate usage. Your users then leverage these data sets with their choice of analytics and machine learning services like Amazon EMR for Apache Spark, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Athena, SageMaker, and Amazon QuickSight. Application integration. AWS Step Functions. AWS Step Functions is a fully managed service that makes it easy to coordinate the components of distributed applications and microservices using visual workflows. Building applications from individual components that each perform a discrete function lets you scale easily and change applications quickly. Step Functions is a reliable way to coordinate components and step through the functions of your application. Step Functions provides a graphical console to arrange and visualize the components of your application as a series of steps. This makes it simple to build and run multi-step applications. Step Functions automatically triggers and tracks each step and retries when there are errors, so your application runs in order and as expected. Step Functions logs the state of each step, so when things do go wrong, you can diagnose and debug problems quickly. You can change and add steps without even writing code, so you can easily evolve your application and innovate faster. Amazon Event Bridge, formerly known as CloudWatch Events. Amazon Event Bridge is a serverless event bus that makes it easier to build event-driven applications at scale using events generated from your application's integrated software as a service (SaaS) applications and AWS services. EventBridge delivers a stream of real-time data from event sources such as Zendesk or Shopify to targets like AWS Lambda and other SaaS applications. You can set up routing rules to determine where to send your data to build application architectures that react in real time to your data sources with event publisher and consumer completely decoupled. Amazon Simple Notification Service, AWS SNS. Amazon Simple Notification Service Amazon SNS is a highly available, durable, secure, fully managed pub/sub messaging service that enables you to decouple microservices, distributed systems, and serverless applications. Amazon SNS provides topics for high-throughput push-based many-to-many messaging. Using Amazon SNS topics, your publisher systems can fan out messages to a large number of subscriber endpoints for parallel processing, including Amazon SQS queues, AWS Lambda functions, and HTTPS webhooks. Additionally, SNS can be used to fan out notifications to end users using mobile push SMS and email. Amazon Simple Queue Service, AWS SQS. Amazon Simple Queue Service Amazon SQS is a fully managed message queuing service that enables you to decouple and scale microservices, distributed systems, and serverless applications. SQS eliminates the complexity and overhead associated with managing and operating message-oriented middleware and empowers developers to focus on differentiating work. Using SQS, you can send, store, and receive messages between software components at any volume without losing messages or requiring other services to be available. Get started with SQS in minutes using the AWS console, command line interface or SDK of your choice, and 3 simple commands. SQS offers 2 types of message queues. Standard queues offer maximum throughput, best effort ordering, and at least once delivery. SQS FIFO queues are designed to guarantee that messages are processed exactly once in the exact order that they are sent. Amazon Simple Workflow Service, AWS SWF. Amazon Simple Workflow Service Amazon SWF helps developers build, run, and scale background jobs that have parallel or sequential steps. You can think of Amazon SWF as a fully managed state tracker and task coordinator in the cloud. If your application's steps take more than 500 milliseconds to complete, you need to track the state of processing. If you need to recover or retry if a task fails, Amazon SWF can help you. Business applications. Alexa for Business. Alexa for Business is a service that enables organizations and employees to use Alexa to get more work done. With Alexa for Business, employees can use Alexa as their intelligent assistant to be more productive in meeting rooms, at their desks, and even with the Alexa devices they already have at home. Amazon Chime. Amazon Chime is a communications service that transforms online meetings with a secure, easy-to-use application that you can trust. Amazon Chime works seamlessly across your devices so that you can stay connected. You can use Amazon Chime for online meetings, video conferencing, calls, chat, and to share content both inside and outside your organization. Amazon Chime works with Alexa for Business, which means you can use Alexa to start your meetings with your voice. Alexa can start your video meetings in large conference rooms and automatically dial into online meetings in smaller huddle rooms and from your desk. Amazon Simple Email Service AWS SES. Amazon Simple Email Service Amazon SES is a cost-effective, flexible, and scalable email service that enables developers to send mail from within any application. You can configure Amazon SES quickly to support several email use cases, including transactional marketing or mass email communications. Amazon SES's flexible IP deployment and email authentication options help drive higher deliverability and protect sender reputation, while Sending Analytics measure the impact of each email. With Amazon SES, you can send email securely, globally, and at scale. Amazon WorkDocs. Amazon WorkDocs is a fully managed, secure enterprise storage and sharing service with strong administrative controls and feedback capabilities that improve user productivity. Users can comment on files, send them to others for feedback, and upload new versions without having to resort to emailing multiple versions of their files as attachments. Users can take advantage of these capabilities wherever they are, using the device of their choice, including PCs, Macs, tablets, and phones. Amazon WorkDocs offers IT administrators the option of integrating with existing corporate directories, flexible sharing policies, and control of the location where data is stored. You can get started using Amazon WorkDocs with a 30-day free trial, providing 1 terabyte of storage per user for up to 50 users. Amazon WorkMail. Amazon WorkMail is a secure, managed business email and calendar service with support for existing desktop and mobile email client applications. Amazon WorkMail gives users the ability to seamlessly access their email, contacts, and calendars using the client application of their choice, including Microsoft Outlook, native iOS and Android email applications. Any client application supporting the IMAP protocol or directly through a web browser. You can integrate Amazon WorkMail with your existing corporate directory, use email journaling to meet compliance requirements, and control both the keys that encrypt your data and the location in which your data is stored. You can also set up interoperability with Microsoft Exchange Server and programmatically manage users, groups, and resources using the Amazon WorkMail SDK. Cloud Financial Management. AWS Application Cost Profiler. AWS Application Cost Profiler provides you the ability to track the consumption of shared AWS resources used by software applications and report granular cost breakdown across tenant base. You can achieve economies of scale with the shared infrastructure model while still maintaining a clear line of sight to detailed resource consumption information across multiple dimensions. With the proportionate cost insights of shared AWS resources, organizations running applications can establish the data foundation for accurate cost allocation model. And ISV selling applications can better understand your profitability and customize pricing strategies for your end customers. AWS Cost Explorer. AWS Cost Explorer has an easy-to-use interface that lets you visualize, understand, and manage your AWS costs and usage over time. Get started quickly by creating custom reports including charts and tabular data that analyze cost and usage data both at a high level, e.g., total costs and usage across all accounts, and for highly specific requests, e.g. M2.2 extra large costs with an account Y that are tagged Project Secret Project. AWS Budgets. AWS Budgets gives you the ability to set custom budgets that alert you when your costs or usage exceed or are forecasted to exceed your budgeted amount. You can also use AWS Budgets to set reutilization or coverage targets and receive alerts when your utilization drops below the threshold you define. Re-alerts support Amazon EC2, Amazon RDS, Amazon Redshift, and Amazon ElastiCache reservations. Budgets can be tracked at the monthly, quarterly, or yearly level, and you can customize the start and end dates. You can further refine your budget to track costs associated with multiple dimensions, such as AWS Service Linked Account Tag and others. Budget alerts can be sent via email and/or Amazon Simple Notification Service (SNS) topic. Budgets can be created and tracked from the AWS Budgets dashboard or via the Budgets API. AWS Cost and Usage Report. The AWS Cost and Usage Report is a single location for accessing comprehensive information about your AWS costs and usage. The AWS Cost and Usage Report lists AWS usage for each service category used by an account and its IAM users in hourly or daily line items, as well as any tags that you have activated for cost allocation purposes. You can also customize the AWS Cost and Usage Report to aggregate your usage data to the daily or monthly level. Reserved Instance reporting. AWS provides a number of specific cost management solutions out of the box to help you better understand and manage your risks. Using the reutilization and coverage reports available in AWS Cost Explorer, you can visualize your data at an aggregate level or inspect a particular resubscription. To access the most detailed information available, you can leverage the AWS Cost and Usage Report. You can also set a custom reutilization target via AWS Budgets and receive alerts when your utilization drops below the threshold you define. Savings Plans. Savings Plans is a flexible pricing model offering lower prices compared to on-demand pricing. In exchange for a specific usage commitment measured in dollar per hour for a 1 or 3 year period. AWS offers 3 types of savings plans: Compute Savings Plans, EC2 Instance Savings Plans, and Amazon SageMaker Savings Plans. Compute Savings Plans apply to usage across Amazon EC2, AWS Lambda, and AWS Fargate. The EC2 Instance Savings Plans apply to EC2 usage, and Amazon SageMaker Savings Plans apply to Amazon SageMaker usage. You can easily sign up a 1 or 3 year term savings plans in AWS Cost Explorer and manage your plans by taking advantage of recommendations, performance reporting, and budget alerts. Compute Services section. Amazon EC2. Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. Amazon EC2 is a web service that provides secure, resizable compute capacity in the cloud. It is designed to make web-scale computing easier for developers. The simple web interface of Amazon EC2 allows you to obtain and configure capacity with minimal friction. It provides you with complete control of your computing resources and lets you run on Amazon's proven computing environment. Amazon EC2 reduces the time required to obtain and boot new server instances called Amazon EC2 instances to minutes, allowing you to quickly scale capacity both up and down as your computing requirements change. Amazon EC2 changes the economics of computing by allowing you to pay only for capacity that you actually use. Amazon EC2 provides developers and system administrators the tools to build failure-resilient applications and isolate themselves from common failure scenarios. Instance types. Amazon EC2 passes on to you the financial benefits of Amazon Scale. You pay a very low rate for the compute capacity you actually consume. See Amazon EC2 Instance Purchasing Options for a more detailed description. On-demand instances. With on-demand instances, you pay for compute capacity by the hour or the second depending on which instances you run. No longer-term commitments or upfront payments are needed. You can increase or decrease your compute capacity depending on the demands of your application and only pay the specified per hourly rates for the instance you use. On-demand instances are recommended for users that prefer the low cost and flexibility of Amazon EC2 without any upfront payment or long-term commitment. Applications with short-term, spiky, or unpredictable workloads that cannot be interrupted. Applications being developed are tested on Amazon EC2 for the first time. Spot instances. Spot instances are available at up to a 90% discount compared to on-demand prices and let you take advantage of unused Amazon EC2 capacity in the AWS cloud. You can significantly reduce the cost of running your applications, grow your application's compute capacity and throughput for the same budget, and enable new types of cloud computing applications. Spot instances are recommended for applications that have flexible start and end times. Applications that are only feasible at very low compute prices. Users with urgent computing needs for large amounts of additional capacity. Reserved instances. Reserved instances provide you with a significant discount up to 72% compared to on-demand instance pricing. You have the flexibility to change families, operating system types, and tenancies while benefiting from reserved instance pricing when you use convertible reserved instances. Savings plans. Savings plans are a flexible pricing model that offer low prices on EC2 and Fargate usage. In exchange for a commitment to a consistent amount of usage measured in $ per hour for a 1 or 3 year term. Dedicated hosts. A dedicated host is a physical EC2 server dedicated for your use. Dedicated hosts can help you reduce costs by allowing you to use your existing server-bound software licenses, including Windows Server, SQL Server, and SUSE Linux Enterprise Server, subject to your license terms, and can also help you meet compliance requirements. Amazon EC2 Autoscaling. Amazon EC2 Autoscaling helps you maintain application availability and allows you to automatically add or remove EC2 instances according to conditions you define. You can use the fleet management features of Amazon EC2 Autoscaling to maintain the health and availability of your fleet. You can also use the dynamic and predictive scaling features of Amazon EC2 Autoscaling to add or remove EC2 instances. Dynamic scaling responds to changing demand, and predictive scaling automatically schedules the right number of EC2 instances based on predicted demand. Dynamic scaling and predictive scaling can be used together to scale faster. Amazon EC2 Image Builder. EC2 Image Builder simplifies the building, testing, and deployment of virtual machine and container images for use on AWS or on-premises. Keeping virtual machine and container images up to date can be time-consuming, resource-intensive, and error-prone. Currently, customers either manually update and snapshot VMs or have teams that build automation scripts to maintain images. Image Builder significantly reduces the effort of keeping images up to date and secure by providing a simple graphical interface, built-in automation, and AWS-provided security settings. With Image Builder, there are no manual steps for updating an image, nor do you have to build your own automation pipeline. Image Builder is offered at no cost other than the cost of the underlying AWS resources used to create, store, and share the images. Amazon Lightsail. Amazon Lightsail is designed to be the easiest way to launch and manage a virtual private server with AWS. Lightsail plans include everything you need to jumpstart your project: a virtual machine, SSD-based storage, data transfer, DNS management, and a static IP address for a low, predictable price. AWS Batch. AWS Batch enables developers, scientists, and engineers to easily and efficiently run hundreds of thousands of batch computing jobs on AWS. AWS Batch dynamically provisions the optimal quantity and type of compute resources, e.g., CPU or memory-optimized instances based on the volume and specific resource requirements of the batch jobs submitted. With AWS Batch, there is no need to install and manage batch computing software or server clusters that you use to run your jobs, allowing you to focus on analyzing results and solving problems. AWS Batch plans, schedules, and runs your batch computing workloads across the full range of AWS compute services and features, such as Amazon EC2 and Spot instances. AWS Elastic Beanstalk. AWS Elastic Beanstalk is an easy-to-use service for deploying and scaling web applications and services developed with Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Go, and Docker on familiar servers such as Apache, Nginx, Passenger, and Internet Information Services (IIS). You can simply upload your code, and AWS Elastic Beanstalk automatically handles the deployment, from capacity provisioning, load balancing, and auto-scaling to application health monitoring. At the same time, you retain full control over the AWS resources powering your application and can access the underlying resources at any time. AWS Fargate. AWS Fargate is a compute engine for Amazon ECS that allows you to run containers without having to manage servers or clusters. With AWS Fargate, you no longer have to provision, configure, and scale clusters of virtual machines to run containers. This removes the need to choose server types, decide when to scale your clusters, or optimize cluster packing. AWS Fargate removes the need for you to interact with or think about servers or clusters. Fargate lets you focus on designing and building your applications instead of managing the infrastructure that runs them. Amazon ECS has two modes, Fargate Launch Type and EC2 Launch Type. With Fargate Launch Type, all you have to do is package your application in containers, specify the CPU and memory requirements, define networking and IAM policies, and launch the application. EC2 Launch Type allows you to have server-level, more granular control over the infrastructure that runs your container applications. With EC2 Launch Type, you can use Amazon ECS to manage a cluster of servers and schedule placement of containers on the servers. Amazon ECS keeps track of all the CPU, memory, and other resources in your cluster, and also finds the best server for a container to run on based on your specified resource requirements. You are responsible for provisioning, patching, and scaling clusters of servers. You can decide which type of server to use, which applications, and how many containers to run in a cluster to optimize utilization, and when you should add or remove servers from a cluster. EC2 Launch Type gives you more control of your server clusters and provides a broader range of customization options, which might be required to support some specific applications or possible compliance and government requirements. AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda lets you run code without provisioning or managing servers. You pay only for the compute time you consume. There is no charge when your code is not running. With Lambda, you can run code for virtually any type of application or back-end service, all with zero administration. Just upload your code, and Lambda takes care of everything required to run and scale your code with high availability. You can set up your code to automatically trigger from other AWS services, or you can call it directly from any web or mobile app. AWS Serverless Application Repository. The AWS Serverless Application Repository enables you to quickly deploy code samples, components, and complete applications for common use cases such as web and mobile backends, event and data processing, logging, monitoring, IoT, and more. Each application is packaged with an AWS Serverless Application Model (SAM) template that defines the AWS resources used. Publicly shared applications also include a link to the application's source code. There is no additional charge to use the serverless application repository. You only pay for the AWS resources used in the applications you deploy. You can also use the serverless application repository to publish your own applications and share them within your team, across your organization, or with the community at large. To share an application you've built, publish it to the AWS Serverless Application Repository. AWS Outposts. AWS Outposts bring native AWS services, infrastructure, and operating models to virtually any data center, co-location space, or on-premises facility. You can use the same APIs, the same tools, the same hardware, and the same functionality across on-premises and the cloud to deliver a truly consistent hybrid experience. Outposts can be used to support workloads that need to remain on-premises due to low latency or local data processing needs. AWS Outposts come in two variants. One, VMware Cloud on AWS Outposts allows you to use the same VMware control plane and APIs you use to run your infrastructure. 2. AWS native variant of AWS Outposts allows you to use the same exact APIs and control plane you use to run in the AWS cloud but on premises. AWS Outposts infrastructure is fully managed, maintained, and supported by AWS to deliver access to the latest AWS services. Getting started is easy. You simply log into the AWS Management Console to order your Outposts servers, choosing from a wide range of compute and storage options. You can order one or more servers, or quarter, half, and full rack units. Contact Center section. Amazon Connect. Amazon Connect is a self-service, omni-channel cloud contact center service that makes it easy for any business to deliver better customer service at lower cost. Amazon Connect is based on the same contact center technology used by Amazon customer service associates around the world to power millions of customer conversations. The self-service graphical interface in Amazon Connect makes it easy for non-technical users to design contact flows, manage agents, and track performance metrics. No specialized skills required. There are no upfront payments or long-term commitments and no infrastructure to manage with Amazon Connect. Customers pay by the minute for Amazon Connect usage plus any associated telephony services. Containers. Amazon Elastic Container Registry, AWS ECR. Amazon Elastic Container Registry, ECR, is a fully managed Docker container registry that makes it easy for developers to store, manage, and deploy Docker container images. Amazon ECR is integrated with Amazon Elastic Container Service, Amazon ECS, simplifying your development to production workflow. Amazon ECR eliminates the need to operate your own container repositories or worry about scaling the underlying infrastructure. Amazon ECR hosts your images in a highly available and scalable architecture, allowing you to reliably deploy containers for your applications. Integration with AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM) page 69 provides resource-level control of each repository. With Amazon ECR, there are no upfront fees or commitments. You pay only for the amount of data you store in your repositories and data transferred to the Internet. Amazon Elastic Container Service, AWS ECS. Amazon Elastic Container Service, Amazon ECS, is a highly scalable, high-performance container orchestration service that supports Docker containers and allows you to easily run and scale containerized applications on AWS. Amazon ECS eliminates the need for you to install and operate your own container orchestration software, manage and scale a cluster of virtual machines, or schedule containers on those virtual machines. With simple API calls, you can launch and stop Docker-enabled applications, query the complete state of your application, and access many familiar features such as IAM roles, security groups, load balancers, Amazon CloudWatch events, AWS CloudFormation templates, and AWS CloudTrail logs. Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service, AWS EKS. Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service, Amazon EKS, makes it easy to deploy, manage, and scale containerized applications using Kubernetes on AWS. Amazon EKS runs the Kubernetes management infrastructure for you across multiple AWS availability zones to eliminate a single point of failure. Amazon EKS is certified Kubernetes conformant, so you can use existing tooling and plugins from partners and the Kubernetes community. Applications running on any standard Kubernetes environment are fully compatible and can be easily migrated to Amazon EKS. AWS App2 Container. AWS App2 Container (A2C) is a command-line tool for modernizing .NET and Java applications into containerized applications. A2C analyzes and builds an inventory of all applications running in virtual machines, on-premises or in the cloud. You simply select the application you want to containerize, and A2C packages the application artifact and identified dependencies into container images, configures the network ports, and generates the ECS task and Kubernetes pod definitions. A2C provisions through CloudFormation, the cloud infrastructure and CI/CD pipelines required to deploy the containerized .NET or Java application into production. With A2C, you can easily modernize your existing applications and standardize the deployment and operations through containers. Database section. Amazon Aurora. Amazon Aurora is a MySQL and PostgreSQL-compatible relational database engine that combines the speed and availability of high-end commercial databases with the simplicity and cost-effectiveness of open-source databases. Amazon Aurora is up to 5 times faster than standard MySQL databases and 3 times faster than standard PostgreSQL databases. It provides the security, availability, and reliability of commercial databases at 1/10 the cost. Amazon Aurora is fully managed by Amazon Relational Database Service (Amazon RDS), which automates time-consuming administration tasks like hardware provisioning, database setup, patching, and backups. Amazon Aurora features a distributed, fault-tolerant, self-healing storage system that auto-scales up to 128 terabytes per database instance. It delivers high performance and availability with up to 15 low-latency read replicas, point-in-time recovery, continuous backup to Amazon S3, and replication across 3 availability zones (AZs). Amazon DynamoDB. Amazon DynamoDB is a key value and document database that delivers single-digit millisecond performance at any scale. It's a fully managed multi-region, multi-master database with built-in security, backup and restore, and in-memory caching for internet-scale applications. DynamoDB can handle more than 10 trillion requests per day and support peaks of more than 20 million requests per second. Many of the world's fastest-growing businesses such as Lyft, Airbnb, and Redfin, as well as enterprises such as Samsung, Toyota, and Capital One, depend on the scale and performance of DynamoDB to support their mission-critical workloads. Hundreds of thousands of AWS customers have chosen DynamoDB as their key value and document database for mobile, web, gaming, ad tech, IoT, and other applications that need low latency that access at any scale. Create a new table for your application and let DynamoDB handle the rest. Amazon Elastic Cache. Amazon Elastic Cache is a web service that makes it easy to deploy, operate, and scale an in-memory cache in the cloud. The service improves the performance of web applications by allowing you to retrieve information from fast, managed in-memory caches instead of relying entirely on slower disk-based databases. Amazon Elastic Cache supports 2 open-source in-memory caching engines: Redis, a fast, open-source, in-memory key-value data store for use as a database cache message broker, and Q. Amazon Elastic Cache for Redis is a Redis-compatible in-memory service that delivers the ease of use and power of Redis along with the availability, reliability, and performance suitable for the most demanding applications. Both single-node and up to 15 shard clusters are available, enabling scalability to up to 3.55 terabytes of in-memory data. Elastic Cache for Redis is fully managed, scalable, and secure. This makes it an ideal candidate to power high-performance use cases such as web, mobile apps, gaming, ad tech, and IoT. Memcached, a widely adopted memory object caching system. Elastic Cache for Memcached is protocol compliant with Memcached, so popular tools that you use today with existing Memcached environments will work seamlessly with the service. Amazon Neptune. Amazon Neptune is a fast, reliable, fully managed graph database service that makes it easy to build and run applications that work with highly connected datasets. The core of Amazon Neptune is a purpose-built, high-performance graph database engine optimized for storing billions of relationships and querying the graph with milliseconds latency. Amazon Neptune supports popular graph models Property Graph and W3C's RDF, and their respective query languages Apache, Tinkerpop, Gremlin, and SPARQL, allowing you to easily build queries that efficiently navigate highly connected datasets. Neptune powers graph use cases such as recommendation engines, fraud detection, knowledge graphs, drug discovery, and network security. Amazon Neptune is highly available with read replicas, point-in-time recovery, continuous backup to Amazon S3, and replication across availability zones. Neptune is secure with support for encryption at rest. Neptune is fully managed, so you no longer need to worry about database management tasks such as hardware provisioning, software patching, setup configuration, or backups. Amazon Relational Database Service (AWS RDS). Amazon Relational Database Service (Amazon RDS) makes it easy to set up, operate, and scale a relational database in the cloud. It provides cost-efficient and resizable capacity while automating time-consuming administration tasks such as hardware provisioning, database setup, patching, and backups. It frees you to focus on your applications so you can give them the fast performance, high availability, security, and compatibility they need. Amazon RDS is available on several database instance types, optimized for memory, performance, I/O, and provides you with 6 familiar database engines to choose from, including Amazon Aurora, PostgreSQL, MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle Database, and SQL Server. You can use the AWS Database Migration Service to easily migrate or replicate your existing databases to Amazon RDS. Amazon Quantum Ledger Database (AWS QLDB). Amazon QLDB is a fully managed ledger database that provides a transparent, immutable, and cryptographically verifiable transaction log owned by a central trusted authority. Amazon QLDB tracks each and every application data change and maintains a complete and verifiable history of changes over time. Ledgers are typically used to record a history of economic and financial activity in an organization. Many organizations build applications with ledger-like functionality because they want to maintain an accurate history of their application's data, for example, tracking the history of credits and debits in banking transactions, verifying the data lineage of an insurance claim, or tracing movement of an item in a supply chain network. Ledger applications are often implemented using custom audit tables or audit trails created in relational databases. However, building audit functionality with relational databases is time-consuming and prone to human error. It requires custom development, and since relational databases are not inherently immutable, any unintended changes to the data are hard to track and verify. Alternatively, blockchain frameworks such as Hyperledger Fabric and Ethereum can also be used as a ledger. However, this adds complexity as you need to set up an entire blockchain network with multiple nodes, manage its infrastructure, and require the nodes to validate each transaction before it can be added to the ledger. Amazon QLDB is a new class of database that eliminates the need to engage in the complex development effort of building your own ledger-like applications. With QLDB, your data's change history is immutable, it cannot be altered or deleted, and using cryptography, you can easily verify that there have been no unintended modifications to your application's data. QLDB uses an immutable transactional log, known as a journal, that tracks each application data change and maintains a complete and verifiable history of changes over time. QLDB is easy to use because it provides developers with a familiar SQL-like API, a flexible document data model, and full support for transactions. QLDB is also serverless, so it automatically scales to support the demands of your application. There are no servers to manage and no read or write limits to configure. With QLDB, you only pay for what you use. Amazon TimeStream. Amazon TimeStream is a fast, scalable, fully managed time series database service for IoT and operational applications that makes it easy to store and analyze trillions of events per day at 1/10 the cost of relational databases. Driven by the rise of IoT devices, IT systems, and smart industrial machines, time series data that measures how things change over time, is one of the fastest growing data types. Time series data has specific characteristics such as typically arriving in time order form, data is append-only, and queries are always over a time interval. While relational databases can store this data, they are inefficient at processing this data as they lack optimization such as storing and retrieving data by time intervals. TimeStream is a purpose-built time series database that efficiently stores and processes this data by time intervals. With TimeStream, you can easily store and analyze log data for DevOps, sensor data for IoT applications, and industrial telemetry data for equipment maintenance. As your data grows over time, TimeStream's adaptive query processing engine understands its location and format, making your data simpler and faster to analyze. TimeStream also automates roll-ups, retention, tiering, and compression of data, so you can manage your data at the lowest possible cost. TimeStream is serverless, so there are no servers to manage. It manages time-consuming tasks such as server provisioning, software patching, setup configuration, or data retention and tiering, freeing you to focus on building your applications. Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility. Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility is a fast, scalable, highly available, and fully managed document database service that supports MongoDB workloads. Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility is designed from the ground up to give you the performance, scalability, and availability you need when operating mission-critical MongoDB workloads at scale. Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility implements the Apache 2.0 open-source MongoDB 3.6 and 4.0 APIs by emulating the responses that a MongoDB client expects from a MongoDB server, allowing you to use your existing MongoDB drivers and tools with Amazon Document DB with MongoDB compatibility. Developer Tools section. AWS Cloud 9. AWS Cloud 9 is a cloud-based integrated development environment IDE that lets you write, run, and debug your code with just a browser. It includes a code editor, debugger, and terminal. Cloud 9 comes pre-packaged with essential tools for popular programming languages, including JavaScript, Python, PHP, and more, so you don't need to install files or configure your development machine to start new projects. Since your Cloud 9 IDE is cloud-based, you can work on your projects from your office, home, or anywhere using an internet-connected machine. Cloud 9 also provides a seamless experience for developing serverless applications, enabling you to easily define resources, debug, and switch between local and remote execution of serverless applications. With Cloud 9, you can quickly share your development environment with your team, enabling you to pair program and track each other's inputs in real time. AWS Cloud Shell. AWS Cloud Shell is a browser-based shell that makes it easy to securely manage, explore, and interact with your AWS resources. Cloud Shell is pre-authenticated with your console credentials. Common development and operations tools are pre-installed, so no local installation or configuration is required. With Cloud Shell, you can quickly run scripts with the AWS command line interface, AWS CLI, experiment with AWS service APIs using the AWS SDKs, or use a range of other tools to be productive. You can use Cloud Shell right from your browser and at no additional cost. AWS Code Artifact. AWS Code Artifact is a fully managed artifact repository service that makes it easy for organizations of any size to securely store, publish, and share software packages used in their software development process. Code Artifact can be configured to automatically fetch software packages and dependencies from public artifact repositories so developers have access to the latest versions. Code Artifact works with commonly used package managers and build tools like Maven, Gradle, NPM, Yarn, Twine, Pip, and NuGet, making it easy to integrate into existing development workflows. AWS Code Build. AWS Code Build is a fully managed build service that compiles source code, runs tests, and produces software packages that are ready to deploy. With Code Build, you don't need to provision, manage, and scale your own build servers. Code Build scales continuously and processes multiple builds concurrently, so your builds are not left waiting in a queue. You can get started quickly by using pre-packaged build environments, or you can create custom build environments that use your own build tools. AWS Code Commit. AWS Code Commit is a fully managed source control service that makes it easy for companies to host secure and highly scalable private Git repositories. AWS Code Commit eliminates the need to operate your own source control system or worry about scaling its infrastructure. You can use AWS Code Commit to securely store anything from source code to binaries, and it works seamlessly with your existing Git tools. AWS Code Deploy. AWS Code Deploy is a service that automates code deployments to any instance, including EC2 instances and instances running on premises. Code Deploy makes it easier for you to rapidly release new features, helps you avoid downtime during application deployment, and handles the complexity of updating your applications. You can use Code Deploy to automate software deployments, eliminating the need for error-prone manual operations. The service scales with your infrastructure so you can easily deploy to one instance or thousands. AWS Code Pipeline. AWS Code Pipeline is a fully managed continuous delivery service that helps you automate your release pipelines for fast and reliable application and infrastructure updates. Code Pipeline automates the build, test, and deploy phases of your release process every time there is a code change based on the release model you define. This enables you to rapidly and reliably deliver features and updates. You can easily integrate Code Pipeline with third-party services such as GitHub or with your own custom plugin. With AWS Code Pipeline, you only pay for what you use. There are no upfront fees or long-term commitments. AWS Code Star. AWS Code Star enables you to quickly develop, build, and deploy applications on AWS. AWS Code Star provides a unified user interface, enabling you to easily manage your software development activities in one place. With AWS Code Star, you can set up your entire continuous delivery toolchain in minutes, allowing you to start releasing code faster. AWS Code Star makes it easy for your whole team to work together securely, allowing you to easily manage access and add owners, contributors, and viewers to your projects. Each AWS Code Star project comes with a project management dashboard, including an integrated issue tracking capability powered by Atlassian Jira software. With the AWS Code Star project dashboard, you can easily track progress across your entire software development process, from your backlog of work items to teams' recent code deployments. For more information, see AWS Code Star features. AWS X-Ray. AWS X-Ray helps developers analyze and debug distributed applications in production or under development, such as those built using a microservices architecture. With X-Ray, you can understand how your application and its underlying services are performing, so you can identify and troubleshoot the root cause of performance issues and errors. X-Ray provides an end-to-end view of requests as they travel through your application and shows a map of your application's underlying components. You can use X-Ray to analyze both applications in development and in production, from simple three-tier applications to complex microservices applications consisting of thousands of services. End-user computing section. Amazon AppStream 2.0. Amazon AppStream 2.0 is a fully managed application streaming service. You centrally manage your desktop applications on AppStream 2.0 and securely deliver them to any computer. You can easily scale to any number of users across the globe without acquiring, provisioning, and operating hardware or infrastructure. AppStream 2.0 is built on AWS, so you benefit from a data center and network architecture designed for the most security-sensitive organizations. Each user has a fluid and responsive experience with your applications, including GPU-intensive 3D design and engineering ones. Because your applications run on virtual machines, VMs optimized for specific use cases, and each streaming session automatically adjusts to network conditions. Enterprises can use AppStream 2.0 to simplify application delivery and complete their migration to the cloud. Educational institutions can provide every student access to the applications they need for class on any computer. Software vendors can use AppStream 2.0 to deliver trials, demos, and training for their applications with no downloads or installations. They can also develop a full software as a service (SaaS) solution without rewriting their application. Amazon Workspaces. Amazon Workspaces is a fully managed, secure cloud desktop service. You can use Workspaces to provision either Windows or Linux desktops in just a few minutes and quickly scale to provide thousands of desktops to workers across the globe. You can pay either monthly or hourly just for the workspaces you launch, which helps you save money when compared to traditional desktops and on-premises VDI solutions. Workspaces helps you eliminate the complexity in managing hardware inventory, OS versions and patches, and virtual desktop infrastructure (VDI), which helps simplify your desktop delivery strategy. With Workspaces, your users get a fast, responsive desktop of their choice that they can access anywhere, anytime, from any supported device. Amazon WorkLink. Amazon WorkLink is a fully managed service that lets you provide your employees with secure, easy access to your internal corporate websites and web apps using their mobile phones. Traditional solutions such as virtual private networks, VPNs, and device management software are inconvenient to use on the go, and often require the use of custom browsers that have a poor user experience. As a result, employees often forego using them altogether. With Amazon WorkLink, employees can access internal web content as easily as they access any public website without the hassle of connecting to their corporate network. When a user accesses an internal website, the page is first rendered in a browser running in a secure container in AWS. Amazon WorkLink then sends the contents of that page to employee phones as vector graphics while preserving the functionality and interactivity of the page. This approach is more secure than traditional solutions because internal content is never stored or cached by the browser on employee phones, and employee devices never connect directly to your corporate network. With Amazon WorkLink, there are no minimum fees or long-term commitments. You pay only for users that connect to the service each month, and there is no additional charge for bandwidth consumption. Front-end web and mobile services section. Amazon Location Service. Amazon Location Service makes it easy for developers to add location functionality to applications without compromising data security and user privacy. Location data is a vital ingredient in today's applications, enabling capabilities ranging from asset tracking to location-based marketing. However, developers face significant barriers when integrating location functionality into their applications. This includes cost, privacy, and security compromises, and tedious and slow integration work. Amazon Location Service provides affordable data tracking and geofencing capabilities and native integrations with AWS services, so you can create sophisticated location-enabled applications quickly without the high cost of custom development. You retain control of your location data with Amazon Location, and you can combine proprietary data with data from the service. Amazon Location provides cost-effective location-based services (LBS) using high-quality data from global, trusted providers as written here. Amazon Pinpoint. Amazon Pinpoint makes it easy to send targeted messages to your customers through multiple engagement channels. Examples of targeted campaigns are promotion alerts and customer retention campaigns, and transactional messages are messages such as order confirmations and password reset messages. You can integrate Amazon Pinpoint into your mobile and web apps to capture usage data to provide you with insight into how customers interact with your apps. Amazon Pinpoint also tracks the ways that your customers respond to the messages you send, for example, by showing you the number of messages that were delivered, opened, or clicked. You can develop custom audience segments and send them pre-scheduled targeted campaigns via email, SMS, and push notifications. Targeted campaigns are useful for sending promotional or educational content to re-engage and retain your users. You can send transactional messages using the console or the Amazon Pinpoint REST API. Transactional campaigns can be sent via email, SMS push notifications, and voice messages. You can also use the API to build custom applications that deliver campaign and transactional messages. AWS Device Farm. AWS Device Farm is an app testing service that lets you test and interact with your Android, iOS, and web apps on many devices at once, or reproduce issues on a device in real time. View video, screenshots, logs, and performance data to pinpoint and fix issues before shipping your app. AWS App Sync. AWS App Sync is a serverless backend for mobile, web, and enterprise applications. AWS App Sync makes it easy to build data-driven mobile and web applications by handling securely all the application data management tasks like online and offline data access, data synchronization, and data manipulation across multiple data sources. AWS App Sync uses GraphQL, an API query language designed to build client applications by providing an intuitive and flexible syntax for describing their data requirement. Internet of Things IoT. AWS IoT One-Click. AWS IoT One-Click is a service that enables simple devices to trigger AWS Lambda functions that can execute an action. AWS IoT One-Click supported devices enable you to easily perform actions such as notifying technical support, tracking assets, and replenishing goods or services. AWS IoT One-Click supported devices are ready for use right out of the box and eliminate the need for writing your own firmware or configuring them for secure connectivity. AWS IoT One-Click supported devices can be easily managed. You can easily create device groups and associate them with a Lambda function that runs your desired action when triggered. You can also track device health and activity with the pre-built reports. AWS IoT Analytics. AWS IoT Analytics is a fully managed service that makes it easy to run and operationalize sophisticated analytics on massive volumes of IoT data without having to worry about the cost and complexity typically required to build an IoT analytics platform. It is the easiest way to run analytics on IoT data and get insights to make better and more accurate decisions for IoT applications and machine learning use cases. IoT data is highly unstructured, which makes it difficult to analyze with traditional analytics and business intelligence tools that are designed to process structured data. IoT data comes from devices that often record fairly noisy processes such as temperature, motion, or sound. The data from these devices can frequently have significant gaps, corrupted messages, and false readings that must be cleaned up before analysis can occur. Also, IoT data is often only meaningful in the context of additional third-party data inputs. For example, to help farmers determine when to water their crops, vineyard irrigation systems often enrich moisture sensor data with rainfall data from the vineyard, allowing for more efficient water usage while maximizing harvest yield. AWS IoT Analytics automates each of the difficult steps that are required to analyze data from IoT devices. AWS IoT Analytics filters, transforms, and enriches IoT data before storing it in a time series data store for analysis. You can set up the service to collect only the data you need from your devices, apply mathematical transforms to process the data, and enrich the data with device-specific metadata such as device type and location before storing the processed data. Then, you can analyze your data by running ad hoc or scheduled queries using the built-in SQL query engine, or perform more complex analytics and machine learning inference. AWS IoT Analytics makes it easy to get started with machine learning by including pre-built models for common IoT use cases. You can also use your own custom analysis packaged in a container to execute on AWS IoT Analytics. AWS IoT Analytics automates the execution of your custom analyses created in Jupyter Notebook or your own tools such as MATLAB, Octave, etc. to be executed on your schedule. AWS IoT Button. AWS IoT Analytics is a fully managed service that operationalizes analysis and scales automatically to support up to petabytes of IoT data. With AWS IoT Analytics, you can analyze data from millions of devices and build fast, responsive IoT applications without managing hardware or infrastructure. Machine Learning Section. Amazon Code Guru. Amazon Code Guru is a developer tool that provides intelligent recommendations to improve code quality and identify an application's most expensive lines of code. Integrate Code Guru into your existing software development workflow to automate code reviews during application development and continuously monitor applications' performance in production and provide recommendations and visual clues on how to improve code quality, application performance, and reduce overall cost. Code Guru Reviewer uses machine learning and automated reasoning to identify critical issues, security vulnerabilities, and hard-to-find bugs during application development and provides recommendations to improve code quality. Code Guru Profiler helps developers find an application's most expensive lines of code by helping them understand the runtime behavior of their applications, identify and remove code inefficiencies, improve performance, and significantly decrease compute costs. Amazon Comprehend. Amazon Comprehend is a natural language processing (NLP) service that uses machine learning to find insights and relationships in text. No machine learning experience required. There is a treasure trove of potential sitting in your unstructured data. Customer emails, support tickets, product reviews, social media, even advertising copy represents insights into customer sentiment that can be put to work for your business. The question is how to get at it. As it turns out, machine learning is particularly good at accurately identifying specific items of interest inside vast swaths of text, such as finding company names in analyst reports, and can learn the sentiment hidden inside language, identifying negative reviews or positive customer interactions with customer service agents at almost limitless scale. Amazon Comprehend uses machine learning to help you uncover the insights and relationships in your unstructured data. The service identifies the language of the text, extracts key phrases, places, people, brands, or events, understands how positive or negative the text is, analyzes text using tokenization and parts of speech, and automatically organizes a collection of text files by topic. You can also use AutoML capabilities in Amazon Comprehend to build a custom set of entities or text classification models that are tailored uniquely to your organization's needs. For extracting complex medical information from unstructured text, you can use Amazon Comprehend Medical. The service can identify medical information, such as medical conditions, medications, dosages, strengths, and frequencies from a variety of sources like doctor's notes, clinical trial reports, and patient health records. Amazon Comprehend Medical also identifies the relationship among the extracted medication and test, treatment, and procedure information for easier analysis. For example, the service identifies a particular dosage, strength, and frequency related to a specific medication from unstructured clinical notes. Amazon DevOps Guru. Amazon DevOps Guru is a machine learning (ML)-powered service that makes it easy to improve an application's operational performance and availability. DevOps Guru detects behaviors that deviate from normal operating patterns so you can identify operational issues long before they impact your customers. DevOps Guru uses machine learning models informed by years of Amazon.com and AWS operational excellence to identify anomalous application behavior, e.g. increased latency, error rates, resource constraints, etc., and surface critical issues that could cause potential outages or service disruptions. When DevOps Guru identifies a critical issue, it automatically sends an alert and provides a summary of related anomalies, the likely root cause, and context about when and where the issue occurred. When possible, DevOps Guru also provides recommendations on how to remediate the issue. DevOps Guru automatically ingests operational data from your AWS applications and provides a single dashboard to visualize issues in your operational data. You can get started with DevOps Guru by selecting coverage from your CloudFormation stacks or your AWS account to improve application availability and reliability with no manual setup or machine learning expertise. Amazon Forecast. Amazon Forecast is a fully managed service that uses machine learning to deliver highly accurate forecasts. Companies today use everything from simple spreadsheets to complex financial planning software to attempt to accurately forecast future business outcomes such as product demand, resource needs, or financial performance. These tools build forecasts by looking at a historical series of data, which is called time series data. For example, such tools may try to predict the future sales of a raincoat by looking only at its previous sales data with the underlying assumption that the future is determined by the past. This approach can struggle to produce accurate forecasts for large sets of data that have irregular trends. Also, it fails to easily combine data series that change over time, such as price, discounts, web traffic, and number of employees with relevant independent variables like product features and store locations. Based on the same technology used at Amazon.com, Amazon Forecast uses machine learning to combine time series data with additional variables to build forecasts. Amazon Forecast requires no machine learning experience to get started. You only need to provide historical data, plus any additional data that you believe may impact your forecasts. For example, the demand for a particular color of a shirt may change with the seasons and store location. This complex relationship is hard to determine on its own, but machine learning is ideally suited to recognize it. Once you provide your data, Amazon Forecast will automatically examine it, identify what is meaningful, and produce a forecasting model capable of making predictions that are up to 50% more accurate than looking at time series data alone. Amazon Forecast is a fully managed service, so there are no servers to provision and no machine learning models to build, train, or deploy. You pay only for what you use, and there are no minimum fees and no upfront commitments. Amazon Fraud Detector. Amazon Fraud Detector is a fully managed service that uses machine learning (ML) and more than 20 years of fraud detection expertise from Amazon to identify potentially fraudulent activity so customers can catch more online fraud faster. Amazon Fraud Detector automates the time-consuming and expensive steps to build, train, and deploy an ML model for fraud detection, making it easier for customers to leverage the technology. Amazon Fraud Detector customizes each model it creates to a customer's own dataset, making the accuracy of models higher than current one-size-fits-all ML solutions. And because you pay only for what you use, you avoid large upfront expenses. Amazon Kendra. Amazon Kendra is an intelligent search service powered by machine learning. Kendra reimagines enterprise search for your websites and applications so your employees and customers can easily find the content they are looking for, even when it's scattered across multiple locations and content repositories within your organization. Using Amazon Kendra, you can stop searching through troves of unstructured data and discover the right answers to your questions when you need them. Amazon Kendra is a fully managed service, so there are no servers to provision and no machine learning models to build, train, or deploy. Amazon Lex. Amazon Lex is a service for building conversational interfaces into any application using voice and text. Lex provides the advanced deep learning functionalities of automatic speech recognition (ASR) for converting speech to text and natural language understanding (NLU) to recognize the intent of the text, to enable you to build applications with highly engaging user experiences and lifelike conversational interactions. With Amazon Lex, the same deep learning technologies that power Amazon Alexa are now available to any developer, enabling you to quickly and easily build sophisticated, natural language conversational bots, chatbots. Speech recognition and natural language understanding are some of the most challenging problems to solve in computer science, requiring sophisticated deep learning algorithms to be trained on massive amounts of data and infrastructure. Amazon Lex democratizes these deep learning technologies by putting the power of Alexa within reach of all developers. Harnessing these technologies, Amazon Lex enables you to define entirely new categories of products made possible through conversational interfaces. Amazon Polly. Amazon Polly is a service that turns text into lifelike speech. Polly lets you create applications that talk, enabling you to build entirely new categories of speech-enabled products. Polly is an Amazon artificial intelligence (AI) service that uses advanced deep learning technologies to synthesize speech that sounds like a human voice. Polly includes a wide selection of lifelike voices spread across dozens of languages, so you can select the ideal voice and build speech-enabled applications that work in many different countries. Amazon Polly delivers the consistently fast response times required to support real-time interactive dialogue. You can cache and save Polly's speech audio to replay offline or redistribute. And Polly is easy to use. You simply send the text you want converted into speech to the Polly API. And Polly immediately returns the audio stream to your application, so your application can play it directly or store it in a standard audio file format such as MP3. With Polly, you only pay for the number of characters you convert to speech, and you can save and replay Polly's generated speech. Polly's low cost per character converted and lack of restrictions on storage and reuse of voice output make it a cost-effective way to enable text-to-speech everywhere. Amazon Recognition. Amazon Recognition makes it easy to add image and video analysis to your applications using proven, highly scalable, deep learning technology that requires no machine learning expertise to use. With Amazon Recognition, you can identify objects, people, text, scenes, and activities in images and videos, as well as detect any inappropriate content. Amazon Recognition also provides highly accurate facial analysis and facial search capabilities that you can use to detect, analyze, and compare faces for a wide variety of user verification, people counting, and public safety use cases. With Amazon Recognition custom labels, you can identify the objects and scenes in images that are specific to your business needs. For example, you can build a model to classify specific machine parts on your assembly line or to detect unhealthy plants. Amazon Recognition custom labels takes care of the heavy lifting of model development for you, so no machine learning experience is required. You simply need to supply images of objects or scenes you want to identify, and the service handles the rest. Amazon SageMaker. Amazon SageMaker is a fully managed service that enables developers and data scientists to quickly and easily build, train, and deploy machine learning models at any scale. SageMaker removes all the barriers that typically slow down developers who want to use machine learning. Machine learning often feels a lot harder than it should be to most developers because the process to build and train models and then deploy them into production is too complicated and too slow. First, you need to collect and prepare your training data to discover which elements of your dataset are important. Then, you need to select which algorithm and framework you'll use. After deciding on your approach, you need to teach the model how to make predictions by training, which requires a lot of compute. Then, you need to tune the model so it delivers the best possible predictions, which is often a tedious and manual effort. After you've developed a fully trained model, you need to integrate the model with your application and deploy this application on infrastructure that will scale. All of this takes a lot of specialized expertise, access to large amounts of compute and storage, and a lot of time to experiment and optimize every part of the process. In the end, it's not a surprise that the whole thing feels out of reach for most developers. SageMaker removes the complexity that holds back developers' success with each of these steps. SageMaker includes modules that can be used together or independently to build, train, and deploy your machine learning models. Amazon Textract. Amazon Textract is a service that automatically extracts text and data from scanned documents. Amazon Textract goes beyond simple optical character recognition (OCR) to also identify the contents of fields and forms and information stored in tables. Many companies today extract data from documents and forms through manual data entry that's slow and expensive, or through simple optical character recognition (OCR) software that is difficult to customize. Rules and workflows for each document and form often need to be hard-coded and updated with each change to the form or when dealing with multiple forms. If the form deviates from the rules, the output is often scrambled and unusable. Amazon Textract overcomes these challenges by using machine learning to instantly read virtually any type of document. to accurately extract text and data without the need for any manual effort or custom code. With TextRact, you can quickly automate document workflows, enabling you to process millions of document pages in hours. Once the information is captured, you can take action on it within your business applications to initiate next steps for a loan application or medical claims processing. Additionally, you can create smart search indexes, build automated approval workflows, and better maintain compliance with document archival rules by flagging data that may require redaction. Amazon Transcribe. Amazon Transcribe is an automatic speech recognition (ASR) service that makes it easy for developers to add speech-to-text capability to their applications. Using the Amazon Transcribe API, you can analyze audio files stored in Amazon S3 and have the service return a text file of the transcribed speech. You can also send a live audio stream to Amazon Transcribe and receive a stream of transcripts in real time. Amazon Transcribe can be used for lots of common applications, including the transcription of customer service calls and generating subtitles on audio and video content. The service can transcribe audio files stored in common formats like WAV and MP3, with timestamps for every word so that you can easily locate the audio in the original source by searching for the text. Amazon Transcribe is continually learning and improving to keep pace with the evolution of language. Amazon Translate. Amazon Translate is a neural machine translation service that delivers fast, high-quality, and affordable language translation. Neural machine translation is a form of language translation automation that uses deep learning models to deliver more accurate and more natural-sounding translation than traditional statistical and rule-based translation algorithms. Amazon Translate allows you to localize content such as websites and applications for international users and to easily translate large volumes of texts efficiently. AWS Deep Learning AMOS. The AWS Deep Learning AMOS provide machine learning practitioners and researchers with the infrastructure and tools to accelerate deep learning in the cloud at any scale. You can quickly launch Amazon EC2 instances pre-installed with popular deep learning frameworks such as Apache MXNet and Gluon, TensorFlow, Microsoft Cognitive Toolkit, Caffe2, Pheno, Torch, PyTorch, Chainer, and Keras to train sophisticated custom AI models, experiment with new algorithms, or to learn new skills and techniques. Management and Governance section. Amazon CloudWatch. Amazon CloudWatch is a monitoring and management service built for developers, system operators, site reliability engineers (SRE), and IT managers. CloudWatch provides you with data and actionable insights to monitor your applications, understand and respond to system-wide performance changes, optimize resource utilization, and get a unified view of operational health. CloudWatch collects monitoring and operational data in the form of logs, metrics, and events, providing you with a unified view of AWS resources, applications and services that run on AWS and on-premises servers. You can use CloudWatch to set high-resolution alarms, visualize logs and metrics side by side, take automated actions, troubleshoot issues, and discover insights to optimize your applications and ensure they are running smoothly. AWS Autoscaling. AWS Autoscaling monitors your applications and automatically adjusts capacity to maintain steady, predictable performance at the lowest possible cost. Using AWS Autoscaling, it's easy to set up application scaling for multiple resources across multiple services in minutes. The service provides a simple, powerful user interface that lets you build scaling plans for resources including Amazon EC2 instances and spot fleets, Amazon ECS tasks, Amazon DynamoDB tables and indexes, and Amazon Aurora replicas. AWS Autoscaling makes scaling simple with recommendations that allow you to optimize performance, costs, or balance between them. If you're already using Amazon EC2 Autoscaling to dynamically scale your Amazon EC2 instances, you can now combine it with AWS Autoscaling to scale additional resources for other AWS services. With AWS Autoscaling, your applications always have the right resources at the right time. AWS Chatbot. AWS Chatbot is an interactive agent that makes it easy to monitor and interact with your AWS resources in your Slack channels and Amazon Chime chat rooms. With AWS Chatbot, you can receive alerts, run commands to return diagnostic information, invoke AWS Lambda functions, and create AWS support cases. AWS Chatbot manages the integration between AWS services and your Slack channels or Amazon Chime chat rooms, helping you to get started with ChatOps fast. With just a few clicks, you can start receiving notifications and issuing commands in your chosen channels or chat rooms, so your team doesn't have to switch contexts to collaborate. AWS Chatbot makes it easier for your team to stay updated, collaborate, and respond faster to operational events, security findings, CD workflows, budget, and other alerts for applications running in your AWS accounts. AWS Compute Optimizer. AWS Compute Optimizer recommends optimal AWS resources for your workloads to reduce costs and improve performance by using machine learning to analyze historical utilization metrics. Over-provisioning resources can lead to unnecessary infrastructure cost, and under-provisioning resources can lead to poor application performance. Compute Optimizer helps you choose optimal configurations for 3 types of AWS resources: Amazon EC2 instances, Amazon EBS volumes, and AWS Lambda functions based on your utilization data. By applying the knowledge drawn from Amazon's own experience running diverse workloads in the cloud, Compute Optimizer identifies workload patterns and recommends optimal AWS resources. Compute Optimizer analyzes the configuration and resource utilization of your workload to identify dozens of defining characteristics. For example, if a workload is CPU intensive, if it exhibits a daily pattern, or if a workload accesses local storage frequently. The service processes these characteristics and identifies the hardware resource required by the workload. Compute Optimizer infers how the workload would have performed on various hardware platforms, e.g. Amazon EC2 instances types, or using different configurations, e.g. Amazon EBS volume IOPS settings, and AWS Lambda function memory sizes to offer recommendations. Compute Optimizer is available to you at no additional charge. To get started, you can opt into the service in the AWS Compute Optimizer console. AWS Control Tower. AWS Control Tower automates the setup of a baseline environment, or landing zone, that is a secure, well-architected multi-account AWS environment. The configuration of the landing zone is based on best practices that have been established by working with thousands of enterprise customers to create a secure environment that makes it easier to govern AWS workloads with rules for security, operations, and compliance. As enterprises migrate to AWS, they typically have a large number of applications and distributed teams. They often want to create multiple accounts to allow their teams to work independently while still maintaining a consistent level of security and compliance. In addition, they use AWS's management and security services like AWS Organizations, AWS Service Catalog, and AWS Config that provide very granular controls over their workloads. They want to maintain this control, but they also want a way to centrally govern and enforce the best use of AWS services across all the accounts in their environment. Control Tower automates the setup of their landing zone and configures AWS management and security services based on established best practices in a secure, compliant, multi-account environment. Distributed teams are able to provision new AWS accounts quickly, while central teams have the peace of mind knowing that new accounts are aligned with centrally established company-wide compliance policies. This gives you control over your environment without sacrificing the speed and agility AWS provides your development teams. AWS CloudFormation. AWS CloudFormation gives developers and systems administrators an easy way to create and manage a collection of related AWS resources, provisioning and updating them in an orderly and predictable fashion. You can use the AWS CloudFormation sample templates or create your own templates to describe your AWS resources and any associated dependencies or runtime parameters required to run your application. You don't need to figure out the order for provisioning AWS services or the subtleties of making those dependencies work. CloudFormation takes care of this for you. After the AWS resources are deployed, you can modify and update them in a controlled and predictable way. In effect, applying version control to your AWS infrastructure the same way you do with your software. You can also visualize your templates as diagrams and edit them using a drag-and-drop interface with the AWS CloudFormation Designer. AWS CloudTrail. AWS CloudTrail is a web service that records AWS API calls for your account and delivers log files to you. The recorded information includes the identity of the API caller, the time of the API call, the source IP address of the API caller, the request parameters, and the response elements returned by the AWS service. With CloudTrail, you can get a history of AWS API calls for your account, including API calls made using the AWS Management Console, AWS SDK's command line tools, and higher-level AWS services such as AWS CloudFormation. The AWS API call history produced by CloudTrail enables security analysis, resource change tracking, and compliance auditing. AWS Config. AWS Config is a fully managed service that provides you with an AWS resource inventory, configuration history, and configuration change notifications to enable security and governance. The Config Rules feature enables you to create rules that automatically check the configuration of AWS resources recorded by AWS Config. With AWS Config, you can discover existing and deleted AWS resources, determine your overall compliance against rules, and dive into configuration details of a resource at any point in time. These capabilities enable compliance auditing, security analysis, resource change tracking, and troubleshooting. AWS Organizations. AWS Organizations helps you centrally manage and govern your environment as you grow and scale your AWS resources. Using AWS Organizations, you can programmatically create new AWS accounts and allocate resources, group accounts to organize your workflows, apply policies to accounts or groups for governance, and simplify billing by using a single payment method for all of your accounts. In addition, AWS Organizations is integrated with other AWS services so you can define central configurations, security mechanisms, audit requirements, and resource sharing across accounts in your organization. AWS Organizations is available to all AWS customers at no additional charge. AWS OpsWorks. AWS OpsWorks is a configuration management service that provides managed instances of Chef and Puppet. Chef and Puppet are automation platforms that allow you to use code to automate the configurations of your servers. OpsWorks lets you use Chef and Puppet to automate how servers are configured, deployed, and managed across your Amazon EC2 instances or on-premises compute environments. OpsWorks has three offerings: AWS OpsWorks for Chef Automate, AWS OpsWorks for Puppet Enterprise, and AWS OpsWorks Stacks. AWS Service Catalog. AWS Service Catalog allows organizations to create and manage catalogs of IT services that are approved for use on AWS. These IT services can include everything from virtual machine images, servers, software, and databases to complete multi-tier application architectures. AWS Service Catalog allows you to centrally manage commonly deployed IT services and helps you achieve consistent governance and meet your compliance requirements, while enabling users to quickly deploy only the approved IT services they need. AWS Systems Manager. AWS Systems Manager gives you visibility and control of your infrastructure on AWS. Systems Manager provides a unified user interface so you can view operational data from multiple AWS services and allows you to automate operational tasks across your AWS resources. With Systems Manager, you can group resources like Amazon EC2 instances, Amazon S3 buckets, or Amazon RDS instances by application, view operational data for monitoring and troubleshooting, and take action on your groups of resources. Systems Manager simplifies resource and application management, shortens the time to detect and resolve operational problems, and makes it easy to operate and manage your infrastructure securely at scale. AWS Systems Manager contains the following tools. Resource Groups lets you create a logical group of resources associated with a particular workload, such as different layers of an application stack or production versus development environments. For example, you can group different layers of an application, such as the front-end web layer and the back-end data layer. Resource groups can be created, updated, or removed programmatically through the API. Insights Dashboard displays operational data that the AWS Systems Manager automatically aggregates for each resource group. Systems Manager eliminates the need for you to navigate across multiple AWS consoles to view your operational data. With Systems Manager, you can view API call logs from AWS CloudTrail, resource configuration changes from AWS config software inventory, and patch compliance status by resource group. You can also easily integrate your Amazon CloudWatch dashboards, AWS Trusted Advisor notifications, and AWS Personal Health Dashboard performance and availability alerts into your Systems Manager dashboard. Systems Manager centralizes all relevant operational data, so you can have a clear view of your infrastructure compliance and performance. Run command provides a simple way of automating common administrative tasks like remotely executing shell scripts or PowerShell commands, installing software updates, or making changes to the configuration of OS software. EC2 in instances and servers in your on-premises data center. State Manager helps you define and maintain consistent OS configurations such as firewall settings and anti-malware definitions to comply with your policies. You can monitor the configuration of a large set of instances, specify a configuration policy for the instances, and automatically apply updates or configuration changes. Inventory helps you collect and query configuration and inventory information about your instances and the software installed on them. You can gather details about your instances such as installed applications, DHCP settings, agent detail, and custom items. You can run queries to track and audit your system configurations. Maintenance Window lets you define a recurring window of time to run administrative and maintenance tasks across your instances. This ensures that installing patches and updates or making other configuration changes does not disrupt business-critical operations. This helps improve your application availability. Patch Manager helps you select and deploy operating system and software patches automatically across large groups of instances. You can define a maintenance window so that patches are applied only during set times that fit your needs. These capabilities help ensure that your software is always up to date and meets your compliance policies. Automation simplifies common maintenance and deployment tasks such as updating Amazon Machine Images (AMIS). Use the automation feature to apply patches, update drivers and agents, or bake applications into your AMI using a streamlined, repeatable, and auditable process. Parameter Store provides an encrypted location to store important administrative information such as passwords and database strings. The Parameter Store integrates with AWS KMS to make it easy to encrypt the information you keep in the Parameter Store. Distributor helps you securely distribute and install software packages such as software agents. Systems Manager Distributor allows you to centrally store and systematically distribute software packages while you maintain control over versioning. You can use Distributor to create and distribute software packages and then install them using Systems Manager Run command in State Manager. Distributor can also use AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM) policies to control who can create or update packages in your account. You can use the existing IAM policy support for Systems Manager Run command in State Manager to define who can install packages on your hosts. Session Manager provides a browser-based interactive shell and CLI for managing Windows and Linux EC2 instances without the need to open inbound ports, manage SSH keys, or use bastion hosts. Administrators can grant and revoke access to instances through a central location by using AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM) policies. This allows you to control which users can access each instance, including the option to provide non-root access to specified users. Once access is provided, you can audit which user accessed an instance and log each command Amazon S3 or Amazon CloudWatch logs using AWS CloudTrail. AWS Trusted Advisor. AWS Trusted Advisor is an online resource to help you reduce cost, increase performance, and improve security by optimizing your AWS environment. Trusted Advisor provides real-time guidance to help you provision your resources following AWS best practices. AWS Personal Health Dashboard. AWS Personal Health Dashboard provides alerts and remediation guidance when AWS is experiencing events that might affect you. While the Service Health Dashboard displays the general status of AWS services. Personal Health Dashboard gives you a personalized view into the performance and availability of the AWS services underlying your AWS resources. The dashboard displays relevant and timely information to help you manage events in progress and provides proactive notification to help you plan for scheduled activities. With Personal Health Dashboard, alerts are automatically triggered by changes in the health of AWS resources, giving you event visibility and guidance to help quickly diagnose and resolve issues. AWS Managed Services. AWS Managed Services provides ongoing management of your AWS infrastructure so you can focus on your applications. By implementing best practices to maintain your infrastructure, AWS Managed Services helps to reduce your operational overhead and risk. AWS Managed Services automates common activities such as change requests, monitoring, patch management, security, and backup services, and provides full lifecycle services to provision, run, and support your infrastructure. Our rigor and controls help to enforce your corporate and security infrastructure policies and enables you to develop solutions and applications using your preferred development approach. AWS Managed Services improves agility, reduces cost, and unburdens you from infrastructure operations so you can direct resources toward differentiating your business. AWS License Manager. AWS License Manager makes it easier to manage licenses in AWS and on-premises servers from software vendors such as Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and IBM. AWS License Manager lets administrators create customized licensing rules that emulate the terms of their licensing agreements and then enforces these rules when an instance of Amazon EC2 gets launched. Administrators can use these rules to limit licensing violations, such as using more licenses than an agreement stipulates or reassigning licenses to different servers on a short-term basis. The rules in AWS License Manager enable you to limit a licensing breach by physically stopping the instance from launching or by notifying administrators about the infringement. Administrators gain control and visibility of all their licenses with the AWS License Manager dashboard and reduce the risk of non-compliance, misreporting, and additional costs due to licensing overages. AWS License Manager integrates with AWS services to simplify the management of licenses across multiple AWS accounts, IT catalogs, and on-premises through a single AWS account. License administrators can add rules in AWS Service Catalog, which allows them to create and manage catalogs of IT services that are approved for use on all their AWS accounts. Through seamless integration with AWS Systems Manager and AWS organizations, administrators can manage licenses across all the AWS accounts in an organization and on-premises environments. AWS Marketplace buyers can also use AWS License Manager to track bring your own license file software obtained from the marketplace and keep a consolidated view of all their licenses. AWS Well-Architected Tool. The AWS Well-Architected tool helps you review the state of your workloads and compares them to the latest AWS architectural best practices. The tool is based on the AWS Well-Architected framework developed to help cloud architects build secure, high-performing, resilient, and efficient application infrastructure. This framework provides a consistent approach for customers and partners who evaluate architectures, has been used in tens of thousands of workload reviews conducted by the AWS Solutions Architecture team, and provides guidance to help implement designs that scale with application needs over time. To use this free tool, available in the AWS Management Console, just define your workload and answer a set of questions regarding operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, and cost optimization. The AWS Well-Architected tool then provides a plan on how to architect for the cloud using established best practices. Media Services section. Amazon Elastic Transcoder. Amazon Elastic Transcoder is media transcoding in the cloud. It is designed to be a highly scalable, easy-to-use, and cost-effective way for developers and businesses to convert or transcode media files from their source format into versions that will play back on devices like smartphones, tablets, and PCs. Amazon Interactive Video Service. Amazon Interactive Video Service (Amazon IVS) is a managed live streaming solution that is quick and easy to set up and ideal for creating interactive video experiences. Send your live streams to Amazon IVS using streaming software, and this service does everything you need to make low-latency live video available to any viewer around the world, letting you focus on building interactive experiences alongside the live video. You can easily customize and enhance the audience experience through the Amazon IVS Player SDK and timed metadata APIs, allowing you to build a more valuable relationship with your viewers on your own websites and applications. Migration and Transfer section. AWS Application Migration Service. AWS Application Migration Service (AWS MGN) allows you to quickly realize the benefits of migrating applications to the cloud without changes and with minimal downtime. AWS Application Migration Service minimizes time-intensive, error-prone manual processes by automatically converting your source servers from physical, virtual, or cloud infrastructure to run natively on AWS. It further simplifies your migration by enabling you to use the same automated process for a wide range of applications. And by launching non-disruptive tests before migrating, you can be confident that your most critical applications such as SAP, Oracle, and SQL Server will work seamlessly on AWS. AWS Migration Hub. AWS Migration Hub provides a single location to track the progress of application migrations across multiple AWS and partner solutions. Using Migration Hub allows you to choose the AWS and partner migration tools that best fit your needs while providing visibility into the status of migrations across your portfolio of applications. Migration Hub also provides key metrics and progress for individual applications, regardless of which tools are being used to migrate them. For example, you might use AWS Database Migration Service, AWS Server Migration Service, and partner migration tools such as AT Motion, Cloud Endure Live Migration, or River Meadow Server Migration SaaS to migrate an application comprised of a database, virtualized web servers, and a bare metal server. Using Migration Hub, you can view the migration progress of all the resources in the application. This allows you to quickly get progress updates across all of your migrations, easily identify and troubleshoot any issues, and reduce the overall time and effort spent on your migration projects. AWS Application Discovery Service. AWS Application Discovery Service helps enterprise customers plan migration projects by gathering information about their on-premises data centers. Planning data center migrations can involve thousands of workloads that are often deeply interdependent. Server utilization data and dependency mapping are important early first steps in the migration process. AWS Application Discovery Service collects and presents configuration, usage, and behavior data from your servers to help you better understand your workloads. The collected data is retained in encrypted format in an AWS Application Discovery Service data store. You can export this data as a CSV file and use it to estimate the total cost of ownership (TCO) of running on AWS and to plan your migration to AWS. In addition, this data is also available in AWS Migration Hub, where you can migrate the discovered servers and track their progress as they get migrated to AWS. AWS Database Migration Service. AWS Database Migration Service helps you migrate databases to AWS easily and securely. The source database remains fully operational during the migration, minimizing downtime to applications that rely on the database. The AWS Database Migration Service can migrate your data to and from most widely used commercial and open-source databases. The service supports homogeneous migrations such as Oracle to Oracle, as well as heterogeneous migrations between different database platforms such as Oracle to Amazon Aurora or Microsoft SQL Server to MySQL. It also allows you to stream data to Amazon Redshift from any of the supported sources including Amazon Aurora, PostgreSQL, MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle, SAP SE, and SQL Server, enabling consolidation and easy analysis of data in the petabyte scale data warehouse. AWS Database Migration Service can also be used for continuous data replication with high availability. AWS Server Migration Service. AWS Server Migration Service (SMS) is an agentless service which makes it easier and faster for you to migrate thousands of on-premises workloads to AWS. AWS SMS allows you to automate, schedule, and track incremental replications of live server volumes, making it easier for you to coordinate large-scale server migrations. AWS Snow Family. The AWS Snow family helps customers that need to run operations in austere, non-data center environments and in locations where there's lack of consistent network connectivity. The Snow family comprises AWS Snowcone, AWS Snowball, and AWS Snowmobile and offers a number of physical devices and capacity points, most with built-in computing capabilities. These services help physically transport up to exabytes of data into and out of AWS. Snow family devices are owned and managed by AWS and integrate with AWS security monitoring, storage management, and computing capabilities. AWS Snowcone. AWS Snowcone is the smallest member of the AWS Snow family of edge computing, edge storage, and data transfer devices. Weighing in at 4.5 pounds 2.1 kilograms with 8 terabytes of usable storage. Snowcone is ruggedized, secure, and purpose-built for use outside of a traditional data center. Its small form factor makes it a perfect fit for tight spaces or where portability is a necessity and network connectivity is unreliable. You can use Snowcone in backpacks on first responders or for IoT, vehicular, and drone use cases. You can execute compute applications at the edge, and you can ship the device with data to AWS for offline data transfer. Or you can transfer data online with AWS DataSync from edge locations. Like AWS Snowball, Snowcone has multiple layers of security and encryption. You can use either of these services to run edge computing workloads or to collect, process, and transfer data to AWS. Snowcone is designed for data migration needs up to 8 terabytes per device and from space-constrained environments where AWS Snowball devices will not fit. AWS Snowball. AWS Snowball is an edge computing, data migration, and edge storage device that comes in two options. Snowball Edge Storage optimized devices provide both block storage and Amazon S3 compatible object storage and 40 vCPUs. They are well suited for local storage and large-scale data transfer. Snowball Edge Compute optimized devices provide 52 vCPUs, block and object storage, and an optional GPU for use cases like advanced machine learning and full-motion video analysis in disconnected environments. You can use these devices for data collection, machine learning and processing, and storage in environments with intermittent connectivity like manufacturing, industrial, and transportation, or in extremely remote locations like military or maritime operations before shipping them back to AWS. These devices may also be rack-mounted and clustered together to build larger temporary installations. Snowball supports specific Amazon EC2 instance types and AWS Lambda functions, so you can develop and test in the AWS cloud, then deploy applications on devices in remote locations to collect, pre-process, and ship the data to AWS. Common use cases include data migration. AWS Snowmobile. AWS Snowmobile is an exabyte-scale data transfer service used to move extremely large amounts of data to AWS. You can transfer up to 100 petabytes per snowmobile, a 45-foot-long ruggedized shipping container pulled by a semi-trailer truck. Snowmobile makes it easy to move massive volumes of data to the cloud, including video libraries, image repositories, or even a complete data center migration. Transferring data with Snowmobile is secure, fast, and cost-effective. After an initial assessment, a snowmobile will be transported to your data center, and AWS personnel will configure it for use. It can be accessed as a network storage target. When your snowmobile is on site, AWS personnel will work with your team to connect the removable, high-speed network switch from the snowmobile to your local network. Then you can begin your high-speed data transfer from any number of sources within your data center to the snowmobile. After your data is loaded, the snowmobile is driven back to AWS, where your data is imported into Amazon S3 or S3 Glacier. AWS Snowmobile uses multiple layers of security designed to protect your data, including dedicated security personnel, GPS tracking, alarm monitoring, 24/7 video surveillance, and an optional escort security vehicle while in transit. All data is encrypted with 256-bit encryption keys managed through AWS KMS page 70 and designed to ensure both security and full chain of custody of your data. AWS Data Sync. AWS Data Sync is a data transfer service that makes it easy for you to automate moving data between on-premises storage and Amazon S3 or Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS. DataSync automatically handles many of the tasks related to data transfers that can slow down migrations or burden your IT operations, including running your own instances, handling encryption, managing scripts, network optimization, and data integrity validation. You can use DataSync to transfer data at speeds up to 10 times faster than open-source tools. DataSync uses an on-premises software agent to connect to your existing storage or file systems using the Network File System (NFS) protocol. So you don't have to write scripts or modify your applications to work with AWS APIs. You can use DataSync to copy data over AWS Direct Connect or Internet links to AWS. The service enables one-time data migrations, recurring data processing workflows, and automated replication for data protection and recovery. Getting started with DataSync is easy. Deploy the DataSync agent on premises, connect it to a file system or storage array, select Amazon EFS or S3 as your AWS storage, and start moving data. You pay only for the data you copy. AWS Transfer Family. AWS Transfer Family provides fully managed support for file transfers directly into and out of Amazon S3 or Amazon EFS. With support for Secure File Transfer Protocol (SFTP), File Transfer Protocol over SSL (FTPS), and File Transfer Protocol (FTP). The AWS Transfer Family helps you seamlessly migrate your file transfer workflows to AWS by integrating with existing authentication systems and providing DNS routing with Amazon Route 53 so nothing changes for your customers and partners or their applications. With your data in Amazon S3 or Amazon EFS, you can use it with AWS services for processing, analytics, machine learning, archiving, as well as home directories and developer tools. Getting started with the AWS Transfer family is easy. There is no infrastructure to buy and set up. Networking and Content Delivery section. Amazon API Gateway. Amazon API Gateway is a fully managed service that makes it easy for developers to create, publish, maintain, monitor, and secure APIs at any scale. With a few clicks in the AWS Management Console, you can create an API that acts as a front door for applications to access data, business logic, or functionality from your back-end services, such as workloads running on Amazon EC2, code running on AWS Lambda, or any web application. Amazon API Gateway handles all the tasks involved in accepting and processing up to hundreds of thousands of concurrent API calls, including traffic management, authorization and access control, monitoring, and API version management. Amazon CloudFront. Amazon CloudFront is a fast content delivery network (CDN) service that securely delivers data, videos, applications, and APIs to customers globally with low latency, high transfer speeds, all within a developer-friendly environment. CloudFront is integrated with AWS, both physical locations that are directly connected to the AWS global infrastructure, as well as other AWS services. CloudFront works seamlessly with services including AWS Shield for DDoS mitigation, Amazon S3, Elastic Load Balancing, or Amazon EC2 as origins for your applications, and Lambda at Edge to run custom code closer to customers' users and to customize the user experience. You can get started with the Content Delivery Network in minutes using the same AWS tools that you're already familiar with: APIs, AWS Management Console, AWS CloudFormation, CLIS, and SDKs. Amazon CDN offers a simple, pay-as-you-go pricing model with no upfront fees or required long-term contracts, and support for the CDN is included in your existing AWS support subscription. Amazon Route 53. Amazon Route 53 is a highly available and scalable cloud domain name system (DNS) web service. It is designed to give developers and businesses an extremely reliable and cost-effective way to route end users to Internet applications by translating human-readable names, such as www.example.com, into the numeric IP addresses, such as 192.0.2.1, that computers use to connect to each other. Amazon Route 53 is fully compliant with IPv6 as well. Amazon Route 53 effectively connects user requests to infrastructure running in AWS, such as EC2 instances, Elastic Load Balancing load balancers, or Amazon S3 buckets, and can also be used to route users to infrastructure outside of AWS. You can use Amazon Route 53 to configure DNS health checks to route traffic to healthy endpoints or to independently monitor the health of your application and its endpoints. Amazon Route 53 Traffic Flow makes it easy for you to manage traffic globally through a variety of routing types, including latency-based routing, GeoDNS, and weighted round-robin, all of which can be combined with DNS failover in order to enable a variety of low-latency fault-tolerant architectures. Using Amazon Route 53 Traffic Flow's simple visual editor, you can easily manage how your end users are routed to your application's endpoints, whether in a single AWS region or distributed around the globe. Amazon Route 53 also offers domain name registration. You can purchase and manage domain names such as example.com, and Amazon Route 53 will automatically configure DNS settings for your domains. Amazon VPC. Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. Amazon VPC lets you provision a logically isolated section of the AWS cloud where you can launch AWS resources in a virtual network that you define. You have complete control over your virtual networking environment, including selection of your own IP address range, creation of subnets, and configuration of route tables and network gateways. You can use both IPv4 and IPv6 in your VPC for secure and easy access to resources and applications. You can easily customize the network configuration for your VPC. For example, you can create a public-facing subnet for your web servers that has access to the internet and place your back-end systems, such as databases or application servers, in a private-facing subnet with no internet access. You can leverage multiple layers of security, including security groups and network access control lists, to help control access to EC2 instances in each subnet. Additionally, you can create a hardware virtual private network (VPN) connection between your corporate data center and your VPC and leverage the AWS cloud as an extension of your corporate data center. AWS Direct Connect. AWS Direct Connect makes it easy to establish a dedicated network connection from your premises to AWS. Using AWS Direct Connect, you can establish private connectivity between AWS and your data center, office, or co-location environment, which in many cases can reduce your network costs, increase bandwidth throughput, and provide a more consistent network experience than internet-based connections. AWS Direct Connect lets you establish a dedicated network connection between your network and one of the AWS Direct Connect locations. Using industry standard 802.1q virtual LANs (VLANs), this dedicated connection can be partitioned into multiple virtual interfaces. This allows you to use the same connection to access public resources, such as objects stored in Amazon S3 using public IP address space, and private resources such as EC2 instances running within a VPC using private IP address space while maintaining network separation between the public and private environments. Virtual interfaces can be reconfigured at any time to meet your changing needs. AWS Global Accelerator. AWS Global Accelerator is a networking service that improves the availability and performance of the applications that you offer to your global users. Today, if you deliver applications to your global users over the public internet, your users might face inconsistent availability and performance as they traverse through multiple public networks to reach your application. These public networks are often congested and each hop can introduce availability and performance risk. AWS Global Accelerator uses the highly available and congestion-free AWS Global Network to direct internet traffic from your users to your applications on AWS, making your users' experience more consistent. To improve the availability of your application, you must monitor the health of your application endpoints and route traffic only to healthy endpoints. AWS Global Accelerator improves application availability by continuously monitoring the health of your application endpoints and routing traffic to the closest healthy endpoints. AWS Global Accelerator also makes it easier to manage your global applications by providing static IP addresses that act as a fixed entry point to your application hosted on AWS, which eliminates the complexity of managing specific IP addresses for different AWS regions and availability zones. AWS Global Accelerator is easy to set up, configure and manage. AWS Private Link. AWS Private Link simplifies the security of data shared with cloud-based applications by eliminating the exposure of data to the public internet. AWS Private Link provides private connectivity between VPCs, AWS services, and on-premises applications securely on the Amazon network. AWS Private Link makes it easy to connect services across different accounts and VPCs to significantly simplify the network architecture. AWS Transit Gateway. AWS Transit Gateway is a service that enables customers to connect their Amazon Virtual Private Clouds, VPCs, and their on-premises networks to a single gateway. As you grow the number of workloads running on AWS, you need to be able to scale your networks across multiple accounts and Amazon VPCs to keep up with the growth. Today, you can connect pairs of Amazon VPCs using peering. However, managing point-to-point connectivity across many Amazon VPCs without the ability to centrally manage the connectivity policies can be operationally costly and cumbersome. For on-premises connectivity, you need to attach your AWS VPN to each individual Amazon VPC. This solution can be time-consuming to build and hard to manage when the number of VPCs grows into the hundreds. With AWS Transit Gateway, you only have to create and manage a single connection from the central gateway into each Amazon VPC, on-premises data center, or remote office across your network. Transit Gateway acts as a hub that controls how traffic is routed among all the connected networks, which act like spokes. This hub-and-spoke model significantly simplifies management and reduces operational costs because each network only has to connect to the transit gateway and not to every other network. Any new VPC is simply connected to the transit gateway and is then automatically available to every other network that is connected to the transit gateway. This ease of connectivity makes it easy to scale your network as you grow. AWS VPN. AWS Virtual Private Network Solutions establish secure connections between your on-premises networks, remote offices, client devices, and the AWS Global Network. AWS VPN is comprised of two services, AWS Site-to-Site VPN and AWS Client VPN. Each service provides a highly available, managed, and elastic cloud VPN solution to protect your network traffic. AWS Site-to-Site VPN creates encrypted tunnels between your network and your Amazon Virtual Private Clouds or AWS Transit Gateways. For managing remote access, AWS Client VPN connects your users to AWS or on-premises resources using a VPN software client. Elastic Load Balancing. Elastic Load Balancing (ELB) automatically distributes incoming application traffic across multiple targets such as Amazon EC2 instances, containers, and IP addresses. It can handle the varying load of your application traffic in a single availability zone or across multiple availability zones. Elastic Load Balancing offers 4 types of load balancers that all feature the high availability, automatic scaling, and robust security necessary to make your applications fault-tolerant. Application Load Balancer is best suited for load balancing of HTTP and HTTPS traffic and provides advanced request routing targeted at the delivery of modern application architectures, including microservices and containers. Operating at the individual request level, Layer 7 Application Load Balancer routes traffic to targets with an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud (Amazon VPC) based on the content of the request. Network Load Balancer is best suited for load balancing of TCP traffic where extreme performance is required. Operating at the connection level, Layer 4. Network Load Balancer routes traffic to targets with an Amazon Virtual Private Cloud (Amazon VPC) and is capable of handling millions of requests per second while maintaining ultra-low latencies. Network Load Balancer is also optimized to handle sudden and volatile traffic patterns. Gateway Load Balancer makes it easy to deploy, scale, and run third-party virtual networking appliances. Providing load balancing and auto-scaling for fleets of third-party appliances, Gateway Load Balancer is transparent to the source and destination of traffic. This capability makes it well-suited for working with third-party appliances for security, network analytics, and other use cases. Classic Load Balancer provides basic load balancing across multiple Amazon EC2 instances and operates at both the request level and connection level. Classic Load Balancer is intended for applications that were built within the EC2 Classic network. Security, Identity, and Compliance section. Amazon Cognito. Amazon Cognito lets you add user sign-up, sign-in, and access control to your web and mobile apps quickly and easily. With Amazon Cognito, you also have the option to authenticate users through social identity providers such as Facebook, Twitter, or Amazon with SAML identity solutions or by using your own identity system. In addition, Amazon Cognito enables you to save data locally on users' devices, allowing your applications to work even when the devices are offline. You can then synchronize data across users' devices so that their app experience remains consistent regardless of the device they use. With Amazon Cognito, you can focus on creating great app experiences instead of worrying about building, securing, and scaling a solution to handle user management, authentication, and sync across devices. Amazon Cloud Directory. Amazon Cloud Directory enables you to build flexible cloud-native directories for organizing hierarchies of data along multiple dimensions. With Cloud Directory, you can create directories for a variety of use cases, such as organizational charts, course catalogs, and device registries. While traditional directory solutions, such as Active Directory, Lightweight Directory Services, ADLDS, and other LDAP-based directories, limit you to a single hierarchy, Cloud Directory offers you the flexibility to create directories with hierarchies that span multiple dimensions. For example, you can create an organizational chart that can be navigated through separate hierarchies for a reporting structure, location, and cost center. Amazon Cloud Directory automatically scales to hundreds of millions of objects and provides an extensible schema that can be shared with multiple applications. As a fully managed service, Cloud Directory eliminates time-consuming and expensive administrative tasks such as scaling infrastructure and managing servers. You simply define the schema, create a directory, and then populate your directory by making calls to the Cloud Directory API. Amazon Detective. Amazon Detective makes it easy to analyze, investigate, and quickly identify the root cause of potential security issues or suspicious activities. Amazon Detective automatically collects log data from your AWS resources and uses machine learning, statistical analyses, and graph theory to build a linked set of data that enables you to easily conduct faster and more efficient security investigations. AWS security services like Amazon GuardDuty, Amazon Macie, and AWS Security Hub, as well as partner security products, can be used to identify potential security issues or findings. These services are really helpful in alerting you when something is wrong and pointing out where to go to fix it. But sometimes there might be a security finding where you need to dig a lot deeper and analyze more information to isolate the root cause and take action. Determining the root cause of security findings can be a complex process that often involves collecting and combining logs from many separate data sources using extract, transform, and load ETL tools or custom scripting to organize the data, and then security analysts having to analyze the data and conduct lengthy investigations. Amazon Detective simplifies this process by enabling your security teams to easily investigate and quickly get to the root cause of a finding. Amazon Detective can analyze trillions of events from multiple data sources such as Virtual Private Cloud VPC, Flow Logs, AWS CloudTrail, and Amazon GuardDuty, and automatically creates a unified, interactive view of your resources, users, and the interactions between them over time. With this unified view, you can visualize all the details and context in one place to identify the underlying reasons for the findings, drill down into relevant historical activities, and quickly determine the root cause. You can get started with Amazon Detective in just a few clicks in the AWS console. There is no software to deploy or data sources to enable and maintain. Amazon GuardDuty. Amazon GuardDuty is a threat detection service that continuously monitors for malicious or unauthorized behavior to help you protect your AWS accounts and workloads. It monitors for activity such as unusual API calls or potentially unauthorized deployments that indicate a possible account compromise. GuardDuty also detects potentially compromised instances or reconnaissance by attackers. Enabled with a few clicks in the AWS Management Console, Amazon GuardDuty can immediately begin analyzing billions of events across your AWS accounts for signs of risk. GuardDuty identifies suspected attackers through integrated threat intelligence feeds and uses machine learning to detect anomalies in account and workload activity. When a potential threat is detected, the service delivers a detailed security alert to the GuardDuty console and Amazon CloudWatch events. This makes alerts actionable and easy to integrate into existing event management and workflow systems. Amazon GuardDuty is cost-effective and easy. It does not require you to deploy and maintain software or security infrastructure, meaning it can be enabled quickly with no risk of negatively impacting existing application workloads. There are no upfront costs with GuardDuty, no software to deploy, and no threat intelligence feeds required. Customers pay for the events analyzed by GuardDuty, and there is a 30-day free trial available for every new account to the service. Amazon Inspector. Amazon Inspector is an automated security assessment service that helps improve the security and compliance of applications deployed on AWS. Amazon Inspector automatically assesses applications for exposure, vulnerabilities, and deviations from best practices. After performing an assessment, Amazon Inspector produces a detailed list of security findings prioritized by level of severity. These findings can be reviewed directly or as part of detailed assessment reports which are available via the Amazon Inspector console or API. Amazon Inspector security assessments help you check for unintended network accessibility of your Amazon EC2 instances and for vulnerabilities on those EC2 instances. Amazon Inspector assessments are offered to you as predefined rules packages mapped to common security best practices and vulnerability definitions. Examples of built-in rules include checking for access to your EC2 instances from the Internet, remote root login being enabled, or vulnerable software versions installed. These rules are regularly updated by AWS security researchers. Amazon Macy. Amazon Macy is a security service that uses machine learning to automatically discover, classify, and protect sensitive data in AWS. Amazon Macy recognizes sensitive data such as personally identifiable information (PII) or intellectual property, and provides you with dashboards and alerts that give visibility into how this data is being accessed or moved. The fully managed service continuously monitors data access activity for anomalies and generates detailed alerts when it detects risk of unauthorized access or inadvertent data leaks. AWS Artifact. AWS Artifact is your go-to central resource for compliance-related information that matters to you. It provides on-demand access to AWS security and compliance reports and select online agreements. Reports available in AWS Artifact include our Service Organization Control (SOC) reports, Payment Card Industry (PCI) reports, and certifications from accreditation bodies across geographies and compliance verticals that validate the implementation and operating effectiveness of AWS security controls. Agreements available in AWS Artifact include the Business Associate Addendum (BAA) and the Non-Disclosure Agreement (NDA). AWS Certificate Manager. AWS Certificate Manager is a service that lets you easily provision, manage, and deploy secure sockets, Layer Transport Layer Security (SSL/TLS) certificates for use with AWS services and your internal connected resources. SSL/TLS certificates are used to secure network communications and establish the identity of websites over the Internet as well as resources on private networks. AWS Certificate Manager removes the time-consuming manual process of purchasing, uploading, and renewing SSL/TLS certificates. With AWS Certificate Manager, you can quickly request a certificate, deploy it on ACM-integrated AWS resources such as Elastic Load Balancing, Amazon Cloud for distributions, and APIs on API Gateway, and let AWS Certificate Manager handle certificate renewals. It also enables you to create private certificates for your internal resources and manage the certificate lifecycle centrally. Public and private certificates provisioned through AWS Certificate Manager for use with ACM integrated services are free. You pay only for the AWS resources you create to run your application. With AWS Certificate Manager Private Certificate Authority, you pay monthly for the operation of the private CA and for the private certificates you issue. AWS Cloud HSM. The AWS Cloud HSM is a cloud-based hardware security module (HSM) that enables you to easily generate and use your own encryption keys on the AWS cloud. With Cloud HSM, you can manage your own encryption keys using FIPS 140-2 Level 3 validated HSMs. Cloud HSM offers you the flexibility to integrate with your applications using industry-standard APIs such as PKCS-11, Java Cryptography Extensions (JCE), and Microsoft Crypto (CNG) libraries. Cloud HSM is standards compliant and enables you to export all of your keys to most other commercially available HSMs, subject to your configurations. It is a fully managed service that automates time-consuming administrative tasks for you, such as hardware provisioning, software patching, high availability, and backups. Cloud HSM also enables you to scale quickly by adding and removing HSM capacity on demand with no upfront costs. AWS Directory Service. AWS Directory Service for Microsoft Active Directory, also known as AWS Managed Microsoft AD, enables your directory-aware workloads and AWS resources to use Managed Active Directory in the AWS cloud. AWS Managed Microsoft AD is built on actual Microsoft Active Directory and does not require you to synchronize or replicate data from your existing Active Directory to the cloud. You can use standard Active Directory administration tools and take advantage of built-in Active Directory features such as Group Policy and Single Sign-On (SSO). With AWS Managed Microsoft AD, you can easily join Amazon EC2 and Amazon RDS for SQL Server instances to a domain, and use AWS Enterprise IT applications such as Amazon Workspaces with Active Directory users and groups. AWS Firewall Manager. AWS Firewall Manager is a security management service that makes it easier to centrally configure and manage AWS WAF rules across your accounts and applications. Using Firewall Manager, you can easily roll out AWS WAF rules for your application load balancers and Amazon CloudFront distributions across accounts and AWS organizations. As new applications are created, Firewall Manager also makes it easy to bring new applications and resources into compliance with a common set of security rules from day one. Now you have a single service to build firewall rules, create security policies, and enforce them in a consistent, hierarchical manner across your entire application load balancers and Amazon CloudFront infrastructure. AWS Identity and Access Management (AWS IAM). AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM) enables you to securely control access to AWS services and resources for your users. Using IAM, you can create and manage AWS users and groups, and use permissions to allow and deny their access to AWS resources. IAM allows you to do the following. Manage IAM users and their access. You can create users in IAM, assign them individual security credentials, access keys, passwords, and multi-factor authentication devices, or request temporary security credentials to provide users access to AWS services and resources. You can manage permissions in order to control which operations a user can perform. Manage IAM roles and their permissions. You can create roles in IAM and manage permissions to control which operations can be performed by the entity or AWS service that assumes the role. You can also define which entity is allowed to assume the role. Manage federated users and their permissions. You can enable identity federation to allow existing identities, users, groups, and roles in your enterprise to access the AWS Management Console, call AWS APIs, and access resources without the need to create an IAM user for each identity. AWS Key Management Service (AWS KMS). AWS Key Management Service (KMS) makes it easy for you to create and manage keys and control the use of encryption across a wide range of AWS services and in your applications. AWS KMS is a secure and resilient service that uses FIPS 140-2 validated hardware security modules to protect your keys. AWS KMS is integrated with AWS CloudTrail to provide you with logs of all key usage to help meet your regulatory and compliance needs. AWS Network Firewall. AWS Network Firewall is a managed service that makes it easy to deploy essential network protections for all of your Amazon Virtual Private Clouds (VPCs). The service can be set up with just a few clicks and scales automatically with your network traffic, so you don't have to worry about deploying and managing any infrastructure. AWS Network Firewall's flexible rules engine lets you define firewall rules that give you fine-grained control over network traffic, such as blocking outbound server message block (SMB) requests to prevent the spread of malicious activity. You can also import rules you've already written in common open-source rule formats, as well as enable integrations with managed intelligence feeds sourced by AWS partners. AWS Network Firewall works together with AWS Firewall Manager, so you can build policies based on AWS Network Firewall rules and then centrally apply those policies across your VPCs and accounts. AWS Network Firewall includes features that provide protections from common network threats. AWS Network Firewall's stateful firewall can incorporate context from traffic flows like tracking connections and protocol identification to enforce policies such as preventing your VPCs from accessing domains using an unauthorized protocol. AWS Network Firewall's Intrusion Prevention System (IPS) provides active traffic flow inspection so you can identify and block vulnerability exploits using signature-based detection. AWS Network Firewall also offers web filtering that can stop traffic to known bad URLs and monitor fully qualified domain names. It's easy to get started with AWS Network Firewall by visiting the Amazon VPC console to create or import your firewall rules, group them into policies, and apply them to the VPCs you want to protect. AWS Network Firewall pricing is based on the number of firewalls deployed and the amount of traffic inspected. There are no upfront commitments and you pay only for what you use. AWS Resource Access Manager. AWS Resource Access Manager (RAM) helps you securely share your resources across AWS accounts within your organization or organizational units used in AWS organizations, and with IAM roles and IAM users for supported resource types. You can use AWS RAM to share transit gateways, subnets, AWS License Manager license configurations, Amazon Route 53 resolver rules, and more resource types. Many organizations use multiple accounts to create administrative or billing isolation and to limit the impact of errors. With AWS RAM, you don't need to create duplicate resources in multiple AWS accounts. This reduces the operational overhead of managing resources in every account that you own. Instead, in your multi-account environment, you can create a resource once and use AWS RAM to share that resource across accounts by creating a resource share. When you create a resource share, you select the resources to share, choose an AWS RAM managed permission per resource type, and specify whom you want to have access to the resources. AWS RAM is available to you at no additional charge. AWS Secrets Manager. AWS Secrets Manager helps you protect secrets needed to access your applications, services, and IT resources. The service enables you to easily rotate, manage, and retrieve database credentials, API keys, and other secrets throughout their life cycle. Users and applications retrieve secrets with a call to Secrets Manager APIs, eliminating the need to hardcode sensitive information in plain text. Secrets Manager offers secret rotation with built-in integration for Amazon RDS for MySQL, PostgreSQL, and Amazon Aurora. Also, the service is extensible to other types of secrets, including API keys and OAuth tokens. In addition, Secrets Manager enables you to control access to secrets using fine-grained permissions and audit secret rotation centrally for resources in the AWS cloud, third-party services, and on-premises. AWS Security Hub. AWS Security Hub gives you a comprehensive view of your high-priority security alerts and compliance status across AWS accounts. There are a range of powerful security tools at your disposal, from firewalls and endpoint protection to vulnerability and compliance scanners. But oftentimes this leaves your team switching back and forth between these tools to deal with hundreds and sometimes thousands of security alerts every day. With Security Hub, you now have a single place that aggregates, organizes, and prioritizes your security alerts or findings from multiple AWS services such as Amazon GuardDuty, Amazon Inspector, and Amazon Macie, as well as from AWS Partner Solutions. Your findings are visually summarized on integrated dashboards with actionable graphs and tables. You can also continuously monitor your environment using automated compliance checks based on the AWS best practices and industry standards your organization follows. Get started with AWS Security Hub just a few clicks in the Management Console, and once enabled, Security Hub will begin aggregating and prioritizing findings. AWS Shield. AWS Shield is a managed distributed denial-of-service DDoS protection service that safeguards web applications running on AWS. AWS Shield provides you with always-on detection and automatic inline mitigations that minimize application downtime and latency, so there is no need to engage AWS support to benefit from DDoS protection. There are two tiers of AWS Shield, Standard and Advanced. All AWS customers benefit from the automatic protections of AWS Shield Standard at no additional charge. AWS Shield Standard defends against most common, frequently occurring network and transport layer DDoS attacks that target your website or applications. When you use AWS Shield Standard with Amazon CloudFront and Amazon Route 53, you receive comprehensive availability protection against all known infrastructure, Layer 3 and 4 attacks. For higher levels of protection against attacks targeting your applications running on Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2, Elastic Load Balancing, ELB, Amazon CloudFront, and Amazon Route 53 resources, you can subscribe to AWS Shield Advanced. In addition to the network and transport layer protections that come with standard, AWS Shield Advanced provides additional detection and mitigation against large and sophisticated DDoS attacks. Near real-time visibility into attacks and integration with AWS WAF, a web application firewall. AWS Shield Advanced also gives you 24/7 access to the AWS DDoS Response Team (DRT) and protection against DDoS-related spikes in your Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2, Elastic Load Balancing (ELB), Amazon CloudFront, and Amazon Route 53 charges. AWS Shield Advanced is available globally on all Amazon CloudFront and Amazon Route 53 edge locations. You can protect your web applications hosted anywhere in the world by deploying Amazon CloudFront in front of your application. Your origin servers can be Amazon S3, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2, Elastic Load Balancing, ELB, or a custom server outside of AWS. You can also enable AWS Shield Advanced directly on an Elastic IP or Elastic Load Balancing (ELB) in the following AWS regions: Northern Virginia, Ohio, Oregon, Northern California, Montreal, Sao Paulo, Ireland, Frankfurt, London, Paris, Stockholm, Singapore, Tokyo, Sydney, Seoul, and Mumbai. AWS Single Sign-On. AWS Single Sign-On (SSO) is a cloud SSO service that makes it easy to centrally manage SSO access to multiple AWS accounts and business applications. With just a few clicks, you can enable a highly available SSO service without the upfront investment and ongoing maintenance costs of operating your own SSO infrastructure. With AWS SSO, you can easily manage SSO access and user permissions to all of your accounts in AWS organizations centrally. AWS SSO also includes built-in SAML integrations to many business applications such as Salesforce Box and Microsoft Office 365. Further, by using the AWS SSO Application Configuration Wizard, you can create Security Assertion Markup Language (SAML 2.0) integrations and extend SSO access to any of your SAML-enabled applications. Your users simply sign into a user portal with credentials they configure in AWS SSO or using their existing corporate credentials to access all their assigned accounts and applications from one place. Amazon Web Application Firewall (AWS WAF). AWS WAF is a web application firewall that helps protect your web applications from common web exploits that could affect application availability, compromise security, or consume excessive resources. AWS WAF gives you control over which traffic to allow or block to your web application by defining customizable web security rules. You can use AWS WAF to create custom rules that block common attack patterns such as SQL injection or cross-site scripting, and rules that are designed for your specific application. New rules can be deployed within minutes, letting you respond quickly to changing traffic patterns. Also, AWS WAF includes a full-featured API that you can use to automate the creation, deployment, and maintenance of web security rules. Storage section. Amazon Elastic Block Store, AWS EBS. Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS provides persistent block storage volumes for use with Amazon EC2 instances in the AWS cloud. Each Amazon EBS volume is automatically replicated within its availability zone to protect you from component failure, offering high availability and durability. Amazon EBS volumes offer the consistent and low latency performance needed to run your workloads. With Amazon EBS, you can scale your usage up or down within minutes, all while paying a low price for only what you provision. Amazon Elastic File System, AWS EFS. Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS provides a simple, scalable, elastic file system for Linux-based workloads for use with AWS cloud services and on-premises resources. It is built to scale on demand to petabytes without disrupting applications, growing and shrinking automatically as you add and remove files. So your applications have the storage they need when they need it. It is designed to provide massively parallel shared access to thousands of Amazon EC2 instances, enabling your applications to achieve high levels of aggregate throughput and IOPS with consistent low latencies. Amazon EFS is a fully managed service that requires no changes to your existing applications and tools, providing access through a standard file system interface for seamless integration. Amazon EFS is a regional service storing data within and across multiple availability zones, AZs, for high availability and durability. You can access your file systems across AZs and AWS regions and share files between thousands of Amazon EC2 instances and on-premises servers via AWS Direct Connect or AWS VPN. Amazon EFS is well suited to support a broad spectrum of use cases, from highly parallelized, scale-out workloads that require the highest possible throughput to single-threaded, latency-sensitive workloads. Use cases such as lift and shift enterprise applications, big data analytics, web serving and content management, application development and testing, media and entertainment workflows, database backups, and container storage. Amazon FSx for Lustre. Amazon FSx for Lustre is a fully managed file system that is optimized for compute-intensive workloads such as high-performance computing, machine learning, and media data processing workflows. Many of these applications require the high performance and low latencies of scale-out parallel file systems. Operating these file systems typically requires specialized expertise and administrative overhead, requiring you to provision storage servers and tune complex performance parameters. With Amazon FSx, you can launch and run a Lustre file system that can process massive datasets at up to hundreds of gigabytes per second of throughput, millions of IOPS, and sub-millisecond latencies. Amazon FSx for Lustre is seamlessly integrated with Amazon S3, making it easy to link your long-term datasets with your high-performance file systems to run compute-intensive workloads. You can automatically copy data from S3 to FSx for Lustre, run your workloads, and then write results back to S3. FSx for Lustre also enables you to burst your compute-intensive workloads from on-premises to AWS by allowing you to access your FSx file system over Amazon Direct Connect or VPN. FSx for Lustre helps you cost-optimize your storage for compute-intensive workloads. It provides cheap and performant non-replicated storage for processing data. With your long-term data stored durably in Amazon S3 or other low-cost data stores. With Amazon FSx, you pay for only the resources you use. There are no minimum commitments, upfront hardware or software costs, or additional fees. Amazon FSx for Windows File Server. Amazon FSx for Windows File Server provides a fully managed native Microsoft Windows file system so you can easily move your Windows-based applications that require file storage to AWS. Built on Windows Server, Amazon FSx provides shared file storage with the compatibility and features that your Windows-based applications rely on, including full support for the SMB protocol and Windows NTFS. Active Directory (AD) integration, and Distributed File System (DFS). Amazon FSx uses SSD storage to provide the fast performance your Windows applications and users expect, with high levels of throughput and IOPS and consistent sub-millisecond latencies. This compatibility and performance is particularly important when moving workloads that require Windows shared file storage like CRM, ERP, and .NET applications, as well as home directories. With Amazon FSx, you can launch highly durable and available Windows file systems that can be accessed from up to thousands of compute instances using the industry-standard SMB protocol. Amazon FSx eliminates the typical administrative overhead of managing Windows file servers. You pay for only the resources used with no upfront costs, minimum commitments, or additional fees. Amazon Simple Storage Service (AWS S3). Amazon Simple Storage Service (Amazon S3) is an object storage service that offers industry-leading scalability, data availability, security, and performance. This means customers of all sizes and industries can use it to store and protect any amount of data for a range of use cases, such as websites, mobile applications, backup and restore, archive, enterprise applications, IoT devices, and big data analytics. Amazon S3 provides easy-to-use management features so you can organize your data and configure finely tuned access controls to meet your specific business, organizational, and compliance requirements. Amazon S3 is designed for 99.999% 11 nines of durability and stores data for millions of applications for companies all around the world. Amazon S3 Glacier. Amazon S3 Glacier is a secure, durable, and extremely low-cost storage service for data archiving and long-term backup. It is designed to deliver 99.999% durability and provides comprehensive security and compliance capabilities that can help meet even the most stringent regulatory requirements. Amazon S3 Glacier provides query-in-place functionality, allowing you to run powerful analytics directly on your archive data at rest. You can store data for as little as $1 per terabyte per month, a significant savings compared to on-premises solutions. To keep costs low yet suitable for varying retrieval needs, Amazon S3 Glacier provides 3 options for access to archives, from a few minutes to several hours. And S3 Glacier Deep Archive provides 2 access options ranging from 12 to 48 hours. AWS Backup. AWS Backup enables you to centralize and automate data protection across AWS services. AWS Backup offers a cost-effective, fully managed, policy-based service that further simplifies data protection at scale. AWS Backup also helps you support your regulatory compliance or business policies for data protection. Together with AWS organizations, AWS Backup enables you to centrally deploy data protection policies to configure, manage, and govern your backup activity across your organization's AWS accounts and resources, including Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2 instances, Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS volumes, Amazon Relational Database Service, Amazon RDS databases, including Amazon Aurora clusters, Amazon DynamoDB tables, Amazon Elastic File System, Amazon EFS file systems, Amazon FSx for Lustre file systems, Amazon FSx for Windows File Server file systems, and AWS Storage Gateway volumes. AWS Storage Gateway. The AWS Storage Gateway is a hybrid storage service that enables your on-premises applications to seamlessly use AWS cloud storage. You can use the service for backup and archiving, disaster recovery, cloud data processing, storage tiering, and migration. Your applications connect to the service through a virtual machine or hardware gateway appliance using standard storage protocols such as NFS, SMB, and ISCSI. The gateway connects to AWS storage services such as Amazon S3 Glacier, and Amazon EBS, providing storage for files, volumes, and virtual tapes in AWS. The service includes a highly optimized data transfer mechanism with bandwidth management, automated network resilience, and efficient data transfer, along with a local cache for low latency on-premises access to your most active data.